Blades in the Dark, that mercenary one?
Just some Forged in the Dark system. The only time I've played that system was your hack for Midnight Watch. But it keeps popping up in my various RPG feeds.
Forged in the Dark's pretty good stuff. I mean, it's weird though. It takes a bit to wrap your brain around because it's not how you run games normally.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to play something like Band of Blades.
Band of Blades, that's what about beam swords and robots?
Lasers and feelings.
Waifu and you?
French maids.
At least one of these is a real RPG.
I
think they all may be.
Lasers and Feelings is a real RPG. It's mock.
Oh yeah.
It's not exclamation mark Trek.
Yep. Thirsty sword lesbians.
Yeah.
Actually,
although that isn't Forged in the Dark, I think, right?
I think that's a totally indie.
It's its own system, yeah.
No.
Lesbians Forged in the Dark.
Oh, that would sell.
Do. That's there. Shout it out there. No, we did not. Go. Bum 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 bum. Oh, there we go. And everything else is. It is. And on that, hello everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and today is an episode of The Great Continental War of the Setting Sun, Fantasy Age 2nd Edition RPG. Today we are going to be flashing back a bit into the academic days of our heroes before the Continental War started, before the Battle of Three Crowns and the devastation of Lysel. Let us get into it. In the winter of 17XX, the Gallian Republic stood firm under the leadership of First Consul Aileron Stornhelm, presiding over the General Assembly and Directorates. During this era, the Cult of Light had ascended as a philosophical replacement for the Church of the Setting Sun, overshadowing the once revered veneration of Saint Solara. This shift in ideology had driven the faithful and superstitious away from the holy sanctuaries scattered across the Republic. The future heroes of the Battle of Three Crowns and the Gallian-Almanian War with Vitlu found themselves seeking respite from their duties and studies at l'Académie Militaire de Lumerburg. Despite the fading influence of the Church of the Setting Sun, the winter spirits lingered in the hearts and minds of the citizens of the Gallian Republic. The Academy granted a secular winter holiday of civic and reasoned reflection, allowing students to momentarily escape the looming crack of cannon fire and the thundering hooves of cavalry. Diego Borgia, an Academy student then, was fortunate to enjoy the winter break with his adoptive uncle Cormac MacNeil at a villa near the old monarchical hermitage of l'Hermitage de la Couronne Ancienne, a short ride from the capital. Isabelle Dumas, occupied with revolutionary friends and militarist mentors, was being groomed for acceptance into the ranks of the cuirassiers in the years to come. Luciano Bianchi spending the holiday with what little distant family lived in the capital. However, MacNeil's estate became the stage for a dire event that would cast a shadow over their holiday, foreshadowing the specters of the impending Great Continental War and its numerous tragedies. And the Winter Spirit is not, in fact, a Yeti. A metaphorical spirit.
That's the abominable. Know your rank and Basque, man. Know your rank and Basque.
No. I refuse.
Canadians.
So, we come upon the dual persons of Diego Borgia and Cormac MacNeil traveling along the road from Lumerburg to the villa. The Hermitage is some distance off. Like if you kept going on the main road and past Mount Iceheart and south, you would eventually get there. But your villa is just off of the crossing with Mount Iceheart. I believe you both are of upper standing in society, so I imagine you're not. I imagine you're on carriage or a horse at the moment.
I would say horse, because
Yeah,
I know
horse.
how much Diego loves his independence and refuses to be carried by others. So horse is fine.
So the two of you are riding in on your horses. The winter has fallen. There's winter crust across the ground and the hills and the distant forests, and blanketing the Mount Iceheart to the east. The roads along here are not as heavily traveled as they once were. Here in this age of the Republic, a lot of the even the Hermitage is being used largely as a storage area rather than its grandiose purpose during the old monarchy. But McNeil is a person of standing and minor diplomatic heroism, so he has been granted leave to the Villa Solstice, a place where it was meant to be a villa that was to house diplomats and nobles that were they weren't in the Hermitage itself, but they were nearby. So it would be like a short horse ride away. I can get there. I can get to the city. I can get to the Hermitage, but I'm not in the Hermitage itself. I kind of have a bit more private time. Tell me, McNeil, is this the first time you stayed at the villa, or is this something you've done over the years since the end of the war?
Probably not the first time I've stayed here. I would say that this is sort of a winter retreat for me, which has become an annual thing. The villages, or the winters here are very reminiscent of those home. You know, they're harsh, but the Villa Solstice, as I can see, is built sort of like a longhouse, you know, so it's good at keeping the warmth in and making everybody feel happy and nice inside. So I travel here extensively during the winter, at least, to take a month off.
Plus, the solstice forest kind of breaks the wind quite a bit, so you're not just being hit with a wall of wind. If you're on, like,
Yeah.
a
So
plane.
it's not so harsh, just like back home, because I imagine Strathcliffe also has these sort of like, it's a small island, very rocky, but also with dense patches of woods in which these longhouses were built, and not to mention the view on Mount Iceheart appears to be quite spectacular. I think the mountain itself is quite imposing on the entire region.
And what, pray tell, are Borgia McNeil talking about on their ride along the road from Lumerburg?
Well, how goes the studies, nephew?
Well enough.
Oh, and what are they teaching you these days?
All the usual. Military history, some engineering, mathematics.
And
I try to get as much
how-
time in the range as possible.
how are your mathematics going, pray tell?
I mean, Isabel's going to be a better engineer than I ever will, but mine are serviceable enough.
And the army's willing to take you after you're finished?
Well, we'll see. I feel certain of a commission somewhere, but with the Revolutionary Wars winding down, I'm not sure what the state of the army will be after when I graduate.
I always thought you had more the mien of a scientist, not of a soldier, Diego.
That doesn't. That's just incorrect, Uncle. Sure, the natural world and everything is interesting, but never fit in as don't have the head for business like the rest of my family. And one thing it seems that I found that I'm good at is soldiering.
Oh, don't be a silly one. You know as well as I do that shooting a target at those distances that you're shooting them and hitting it requires an extensive knowledge of physics. Don't sell yourself short, boy.
Well, fair enough. I mean, you do have to calculate windage and the fall of the projectile over range, but
If only you put it to more non-martial stuff, perhaps the world would be a better place.
maybe.
As long as you're having fun.
Perception seeing as you approach the curve around Mount Iceheart.
Oh, I should open up the stump points list.
Neither of you succeed at seeing what I'm hoping for. You can action point this if you wish.
Would a 16 get it?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop one to get a 16, and those four stunts, right?
Yep. Now that it's a successful roll, those stun points turn on. They're active. The one thing you would see in Mount Iceheart, neither of you are people. I mean, you've come by this a few times, and you spy something that perhaps it's something you see occasionally, but it's kind of hard to see because it's kind of nestled up there between the two great peaks of Mount Iceheart, or the Iceheart range. But there's a taller bit that everyone calls but you see the remnants of an old Magi Imperial temple that is nestled there. It's ruined. It's been long. I mean, that was abandoned at the start of the Kingdom of Gallia when the liberation of by Saint Solara and all that stuff. Like, that is an old temple, and no one felt like going back up there. I mean, some people went up there to take stuff, but it's now kind of an old ruin that you can just barely see breaking the skyline of the mountain range.
Okay. 4 stun points. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, left roll twice. Sorry, my bad. Spend 3 for extra information.
Spying upon it there, you do see that there is you're seeing the tops of the ruin, but you remember in your studies that such things were they sometimes built into the mountains or into the ground quite significantly. So you gather that that's either the temple complex was really high off the mount and it's been ruined floor by floor, or there's a lot more that goes into the mount itself.
Okay, got it. And spend 1 more point for wariness just in case some snow decides to disrupt us on our journey. So I'm looking out for any possible avalanches.
Very good.
I'll point over to Diego at the top. See that over there?
What, where?
Over there at the top of the mountain, Eagle Eyes. Didn't you say you had the best eyesight in all your peers?
Him pointing it out, you see skyline. It's what he's looking at, very distant and very small. His knowledge is helping him more than his eyesight.
See if I can get a look at it with my spyglass.
Would you have had the spyglass at this point? Oh, you bought it at character creation, didn't you?
Yeah.
Never mind.
I mean, you can say I don't. It's fine.
Oh, no. I was just... I thought it was a treasure you found later during the war. I'll let you try again since you have a spyglass to kind of get a better look at it.
Ha! Well, I can't seem to get focused with the thing.
Yeah, the glare's just off the winter, off the snow. You just made it worse by magnifying it.
No, not the day for this, but yeah, I see what you're talking about. Looks like it's fallen into ruin a long time ago.
Yeah,
probably already been looted out.
Quite possibly, but if I recall correctly, these things weren't always what appears in the eye. There's always more to them built into the mountain itself. I'd climb up there and take a look for myself if it wasn't for this blasted gout.
Well,
yes.
Was it a monastery, do you think, or like a church? If it was something that the people could get to, then there's probably at least some sort of trail we might be able to get up on horseback rather than having to make an ascent.
GM, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this time of year, you'd be mad for going up there.
Intelligence, natural lore.
Well, I am moderately intelligent. Doesn't always come into play, but you know. Oh no, I am not very intelligent.
9 tells you that the commonsensical of any high mountain in winter is a difficult, if not perilous, journey.
Yeah, like I said, this mountain is chained in ice at this moment, and any slip could be fatal. So if you wish to climb up there, and if you're fine, but be sure to write your last will and testament and transfer all your funds to me before you do.
Here you go. Shrugs acceptance. How far down do you think it might go inside?
Well, if rumors are to be true, it could go all the way to the core of the mountain, but it could also be very shallow. I'm not quite sure.
Borgia, give me intelligence military lore.
By the way, GM, could you restart the music, please? Because as I had to re-enter Roll20, it's all quiet now and I can't hear it.
Stop it. We'll start it.
Ah, yes, good.
There you go.
13, get it?
That's it. Yes, it will.
Okay.
You remember one of your classes talking about during the revolution, there was a fight between the church guard and some of the revolutionaries that fought people firing from the Mount Iceheart down into the church of Saint Solara, as they were trying to push people basically cross these, instead of going around the road and being peppered by church forces and Marcus forces, they cut through Mount Iceheart and then peppered down and then fired down on the church. Quite a few soldiers died doing that stunt, but surprise, surprise, the brave General Aileron Stornhelm was the one who led that particular charge. Hence why it comes to mind.
So they were firing down on, like, this church or the one in the...
This church. This is a Saint Solara temple, church built much later. The temple's like nestled up here. He didn't really go all the way up and then all the way down. He just went like across one of the lower ranges and then fired down.
Okay. Which means there is some sort of pass through that. Let's do those 3 for extra information.
You recall that someone in the class had asked about that temple. Someone knew their old Magi temples and said, well, why didn't he just go up there, hide out for a bit, and then come back down? And the answer by the instructor was that he would have done so if he thought he needed to winter there and he needed to bring supplies and like sit there for a while and come back down. But he was trying to go with speed. He was trying to, and that's actually what.
Right.
So he could have gone up, and come down. There is a way up from there, but he just decided to go. Nope, he's gonna go straight across.
I think I remember Aileron took a route across, but there was also a route up there that he could move. He could have moved troops up. Might be worth a scout later.
In this weather? Wait, what kind of weather is it? Is it storming currently or blizzardy?
I know together, shall we?
Random weather generator.
It won't be absolutely blizzarding, because otherwise you wouldn't have bothered traveling from the Marienburg. You're like, no.
Right.
We'll wait a day. It's gonna be bad, but it's not gonna be completely. It might be bad, I should say, but it's not gonna be.
Yes,
ridiculous.
you're an adorable cat. You're very much in the way.
Hi, kitty.
Ha, there it is.
Bless you. Oh, goodness. A little sneeze.
Oh, no. Currently, it's actually, it is about, it's been a high of 29 Fahrenheit or -2 Celsius and a low of about 12 Fahrenheit or -12 Celsius.
Ooh, quite spicy. Okay. The air is feeling a bit spicy.
it's a gentle breeze. It's an overcast day, so that's and the wind's fairly light, so it's been a pleasant. This is a perfect day to ride out to the villa.
Why don't we discuss the possibility, Diego, once I've put on my comfortable slippers and had a cup of tea first, eh?
Fair enough.
Good.
Nothing else. It'll be good scouting practice.
Instead of, oh, why did I decide to bring you on this holiday?
As you cross
Well, I mean,
the Solstice Bridge, the forest looms across, and you can see the villa cresting over some of the rises and falls as you're going along the road.
Jim, what do I know about this farm that's close by? How many people are inhabiting the farm?
Give me an intelligence roll +1 because you've been here before. So you probably run into these people once or twice.
All in all, a 9 with 2 stun points.
Not a success, but I'll tell you that there is a family there. They don't live in the church that's been used for you remember that's used for storage now.
Right.
But the actual farmhouse, because it used to be the church, something that they ran things, and then these were the people that tended the ground sort of thing. Now it's
What does it grow there?
You've never been, actually, now that you think about it. You just know that they come up with stuff to the villa from time to time, or down. They used to go down to the Hermitage as well, but there's no one really there much, so it mostly serves the town. And
do they have any animals, or can we smell any animals on our way here?
I don't see a lot of ranch land or anything of the such.
Oh, this isn't grazing land. Yeah, actually, by the riverside. Yeah, not grazing land. Okay. Ah, there it is. Diego, the villa. Splendid, isn't it?
A pretty impressive pile there.
Yes, and the inside is as warm soup. Or at least it should be.
Diego will be practicing spotting his eye for ground, looking out for potential ambush spots and places to build an ambush, and how
Are you being very noticeable about this, or?
Yeah, I'm riding through new country, and I'm kind of practicing my skills of, examining the ground and,
Could you please relax for a bloody moment?
What? This is fun. Yeah. One advancement I've got to try
Blast
perception seeing. Ha! Diego's not rolling for crap today. Yeah, don't count on me for nothing.
Yeah, you know, nothing of great. Actually, you know what? You're just doing. There's nothing really out here for you to be too worried about. Things aren't too hidden. You will get routine stuff. You go through the exercises, but you're not really. It's more you're doing the exercises properly than you are really noticing anything of note.
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to roll the bad juju out, so I'm looking for rolls.
Just please relax for a moment and keep the military academy out of your mind. You're on holiday as well, aren't you?
Oh, but it's fun going into a new place and scouting the land.
Look, yes. Scout, no. You're not here on a war party. At least
That could be one day.
You didn't bring any comrades with you, did you?
No.
They aren't hiding here in these trees, are they?
Not that I'm aware of, but you never know.
Well, considering they're supposed to be voltigeurs, they should be good at that, right?
It could just be local revolutionaries who fed up with the parasitic rich still inhabiting this vast pile of a villa while they're having hard scrabble luck on the farms below.
Hey, at the very least, I'm not parasitic. I've given this country as much as I've given the Tin Isles.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. You never know.
As you begin riding up on the house, you see some of the staff. Some of the staff has already come out to meet you. You're not there yet, but they can see you some distance along the road. So it's like, oh, they can see you from like the windows and stuff. So like, oh well, we'll start getting ready to greet the guests. So you can see like the butler, the stable master.
Oh my God,
a maid.
We can have the maitre d' as well. His name shall be Mr. Hartford.
And they're all bundled up in nice, Well, sorry, the butler and maid are dressed for indoor. They have like a bit of a shawl and stuff to keep from freezing, but the stable master and the stable boy are bundled for winter because they're going to be working outside a lot. So
This is a bit much, isn't it, Uncle? I mean, aren't we supposed to be over all of this kind of nonsense? Isn't that the whole point of things?
Dress it up as you will, Diego. I, and by extension you in this case, are still nobility. We may be in a revolutionary country, but we are still afforded our luxuries.
In somewhat broken Tin Islander, there's an obvious Gallian accent to it. The butler says, "Good day to you, Your Excellence, and to your nephew as
Adopted
well?"
nephew, yes.
Adopted nephew.
Why don't you switch to trade, Mr. Hartford, so he understands us?
Not quite all right. I suppose he switches into trade, and as much as he shows disdain as he switches into it, he's familiar with it. Trade is a tongue that people have to get used to.
It's like English. Everybody and their mother knows English.
A good
no.
winter's morning to you both.
Thank you, Mr. Hartford. Tend to our... see that our horses are tended to, if you will, please, and, oh, for the love of all that is holy, a warm cup of tea.
He snaps
For
his
me
finger.
and my nephew.
He snaps his fingers and points, and then the stableman and his boy will come along to gather your horses from you.
What do you have
Diego
to... Oh, go.
will make sure and grab his rifle, which I'm sure is in some sort of, long leather sheath for
Because
the
you don't want
journey.
to get wet in the winter and stuff, yeah.
Right. And
Anything
for
to
God's
report?
sakes, you people, get inside before you catch your death of cold. He kind of shoos the people who are just out with a little light wrap.
Yeah.
Anything to report, Mr. Hartford?
Well, the winter is going well, and we just got our resupply from Harvest Haven, so we should be good for the duration of your holiday.
Very good. When did you have dinner in time in mind today?
Pulls out a watch and checks it real quick. Looking for about hour's time for brunch. Well, lunch now, I suppose.
Very good. Why don't you by lunchtime also make sure that all the stable boys and girls are inside nice and warm for a hot meal before they resume the rest of the day?
Very good, Your Excellence.
Good. Come, Diego. Let me show you to your... well, actually, Mr. Hartford, would you mind showing Diego and me to his quarters?
Very well, if you would but follow me.
No, of course. Come,
Oh,
Diego.
huh?
It's time that you finally slept on a real feathery pillow.
As the two of you step in, this is kind of hunting lodge-ish, but it has, well, the pretensions of a hunting lodge, but very much meant for the bourgeois and the upper class. This is not somewhere the lower class stays, but it does have that sort of very wood and walnut sort of feel, hunting trophies here or there, but not so much that it's a tannery or a taxidermy, but enough that you feel away from the city. Feels different. Plus,
Right.
this place might have been a hunting lodge once upon a time during the old monarch's days.
I would say I have at least one head of a deer with antlers. Or
Likely so.
A stag head, yeah.
Once you're led into the central part of the house, this is where the lounges are, the study, various congregational type areas, which McNeil, I'm sure, is familiar with and has peppered his... Like, McNeil's not the only one who comes and goes here, but you are one of the few who gets to stay here every so often. You get the winter time, and some other people get autumn, some people get spring. Because not all of you need to use the villa at all times of the year. It's like, well, we all just use the same house because it's cheaper for all of us and it's convenient. And you don't have to stay in the city during times you don't want to.
Oh, the city stinks.
It does.
I wish I could be here during the summer, but alas, I am forced to bear the noxious fumes of Lumerberg during the summer.
The east wing is where he starts leading you as to your private domiciles, and especially in the upper floors where your personal, rather large bed chambers are. McNeil, you are aware by visiting that the west wing that's used as the servants and staff quarters. That's also where the stable would be and stuff like that. So this is all very nice resting areas. The help only comes over here unless if it's absolutely necessary. They're not really supposed to be over here just for whatever. Congregation, you might run into some of them because they're just doing things. But over here, there's little reason to be over here, except in like the mornings and at night. But beyond that, usually only the morning. You do notice that, and much to Diego's probably chagrin, yeah, this is meant to house like a lot of people plus their entourage and the retinue and all this stuff, and it's just the two of you.
Oh, good lord!
It is way too much house for two people, and this one building alone is someone's home, someone's house.
I am quite self-sufficient. I carry no servants with me, except Gerard. Where is he? Oh yes. Oh, but in any case, yes, Diego, pick a bed. Whichever one you choose, you'll choose well.
Uh,
Would you rather a view of the mount, young sir, or perhaps more the forest? That would dictate if it's one of the northern bedrooms or the southern bedrooms.
I think I'd rather have a view of the mountain.
He reaches to a table where there's a set of different bells of different sizes. He picks one up and rings it, and then a maid just appears out of nowhere from some corner, and then she curtsies at you and guides you over to your room.
Nice work if you can get it.
I shall stay in the one looking at the forest, Mr. Hartford.
Very good, sir. Might I be in your ear for a moment?
Very well. What is it?
He moves a little closer and kind of helps you with your stuff. Well, he'll either help you or follow you into your room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish to spoil your stay, but we do have a lady of the Peninsula de Castrum staying here as well. But she intends to leave before the holiday. She was still here for some other matters of state.
Well, that's quite alright. Is she still around tonight?
She did go out, but she might be back by tonight. She told me not to wait up, but I will have things waiting in the event that she may be here.
Joining us for dinner, then, I should hope?
One should hope. I wouldn't want to be, unless she intends to dine in Lumerberg. Shudders.
Very good.
Idea.
Why don't you see to my nephew's clothing that it is all prim and proper for tonight, and give him some comfortable clothes, if you will, please. Whatever you have that's his size.
Very good, Your Excellence. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you, and give us a bit of time to unwind, if you will. We'll be for late lunch within the hour.
Very good. And in short order, Diego, the maid leads you to your room. Then, very quickly, not a butler, but a guy who serves under a butler.
An under butler.
Under butler, thank you. An under butler streams into view and makes a slight nod at you. Good day, Monsieur Bourgeois. I am here to attend to your dining jacket and attire, or help you with that what you have. Yes? And he waves the maid away, who realizes it's not a whole lot for her to do, so she just kind of curtsies and she's off.
Well, I mean, I have my dress cadet's uniform.
Very good, sir. Would you like it pressed or otherwise adjusted for you, sir?
I think I could handle it. Thanks.
Very good, monsieur. Is there anything you may require of the household?
not at this time, but maybe some coffee later?
We'll have a pot on for the luncheon right away. Unless you wish to have one right now, I can have one.
No. Later will be fine.
Would you like a Vinlander combination or one of the more Eastern influences?
Let's go for the Eastern.
Very good, sir.
What's your name?
Jacques. Jacques Milieu.
Jacques Milieu. Tell me, what do you know about the old temple on top of the mountain? Kind of point out the window at the mountain.
Precious little, I'm afraid. My duties are to the household and its mark in history.
Fair enough. Don't suppose you know whether the library has anything about... The house library has anything about it?
Oh, I'm quite sure it does, monsieur.
Ah. Excellent. And how do I... Is that in the central area that we pass through? The
yes,
study and whatnot?
it's on the second floor in the southern wing. Very easy to find.
Thank you.
He waits patiently. And this is about.
I don't think I need anything else for now, Jock. Thanks.
Very good, monsieur. He nods at you and very smoothly steps out of the room, closing the door behind him gently.
Diego just kind of, ugh. I can't tell Isabel about any of this. Thank God she's not here.
He's too
Let's
busy
be on fire.
She's too busy having coffee and singing bawdy tunes, one presumes. But in time... go ahead.
So, yeah, when I'll go ahead and get dressed in my dress uniform and meet up for brunch, lunch, whatever it is, with my uncle and whatnot.
Meanwhile, Cormac will come out in what is the equivalent of a bathrobe.
Yeah.
Very casual and relaxed. Meanwhile, Diego is wearing his dress uniform. I'll do quite the opposite. I'm on vacation, for Christ's sakes. And we'll go to the...
Well, then why did you have the guy come and tell me that I was to get my dinner jacket and stuff ready?
I told him to give you some comfortable clothes.
Of course, wouldn't you be comfortable in a dinner jacket? That makes sense.
Of course you would. If you regard this uniform as comfortable clothes, nephew, then far be it for me to tell you what to wear, I suppose.
As you come to lunch in the central building, again, there is a dining table in the middle. It looks like they've had enough sense to not put out the full banquet table, like the full double table for a bunch of people, because it's just the two of you, so they kind of move. But the problem is that they moved the table and chairs out of here, but there's an obvious expanse in the middle of the room now, because it's a room meant for two tables and there's only one. And they've situated you on opposite ends of this rather long table, because, well, I mean, it's only proper. So, but they have restrained themselves, as I don't think McNeil is a feaster type person, so they probably don't have it end to end full of food. They have a fine amount of food, like plenty enough for firsts and seconds, and a bit of dessert kind of laid out away from you.
Tin Islander food is very bland, shall we say, anyways. Except for that thing served in the stomach of a sheep.
Do you have them serve Tin Islander fare or more galleon fare?
Let's actually double back a little bit. I would have asked Diego on the road, like, what kind of food would you like? Diego?
Pretty good with whatever. Used to galleon food by this point, but pretty much anything except all the boiled stuff that your people do. Seriously.
Good. Tin Islander food with galleon spices it is, then.
So, like, butter, rosemary, and thyme.
Yes. Which the Tin Isles have none of. We have salt.
Yes, and vegetables boiled to within an inch of their lives.
Yeah, it's I mean, the chefs do what they can. Thankfully for your palate, Diego, they have they thoroughly roast and butter their food because they are galleons after all.
Right.
So it's not quite. It's actually, for any Tin Islander, it's inaccurate, but it's close enough for most Tin Islanders. But it's palatable to a galleon palate.
Oh, Diego, I should have them make the haggis one day. You should try it. It's quite a spectacular wonder of culinary arts.
That the thing in the sheep's gut?
Yes, the thing in the sheep's gut. Quite aptly described.
Someone comes along to buy Borgia, and they have this little cup and metallic contraption over the cup, and they very deftly pour the like with a bit of coffee grounds and such, and they pour very thick, syrupy, almost syrupy, dense coffee for you.
Oh, thank goodness.
Take it away.
So you said you wanted to climb the mountain, is that correct?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm told the library here might have more information about the castle, the church in the mountain, and whatever. I also feel like I should have a messenger runner here to carry my conversational gambits over to you.
You said you call across the table.
Right. More so like, gets fed up with it. And is it just our 2 chairs?
Just the 2 chairs. They do want to make you feel lonely, so they took the other ones away.
Right. So Diego will pick up his chair and plate and move it down at a more reasonable distance along the side of the table, closer to his uncle, so he's not having to shout across the 3
once you move over and settle down, you hear a somewhere, and you notice it's the head butler who says it, and then a few servers come out and they maneuver the stuff so that way your food that was meant for you, Diego, is kind of put closer to you, because there's your dish and then there's like the other stuff, so they move it so it's kind of clustered where you are, which does create this weird, very full feast-like table on one half and a very bare table on the other. So they put out a little vase with flowers to kind of brighten up the table.
This is a lot, Uncle. I mean, it's not like the Borgias are, eating rats or anything, but I mean, this is a lot.
Please, Diego, I knew your mother when she and I was small. Eating rats is not what I describe, but perhaps living in the lap of luxury is something your mother would have wanted for you. Learn to enjoy it while you can. Soon enough, you may not have the chance to do it. Is that too much to ask for your old uncle?
As your future selves reflect upon this moment as the last time they really had a big luxurious meal like that, because when the war started, the most luxury you got was once you got to
right.
the city in a coffee shop, and even then they don't make coffee like that.
Right.
Very different atmosphere.
Part of the matter is, Diego, are you the one to truly scorn your mother's wishes? I
think if my mother had wanted to have the house like this, she certainly would have been able to. Father kind of leaves all of that up to her.
Point of the matter is, your mother wanted a good future for you, a future in the lap of luxury, what you're enjoying right now. So eat, be merry, let go of your troubles for at least a second. Can you do that?
You're kind of leading heavy on what you think my mother wanted for me, when she's still alive and quite well, and helping run a business empire that stretches throughout the lands of the setting sun.
She and I go way back. I knew her, both when we were still young ones, and well, how old are you now?
I guess Diego would be around 1920. Maybe
approximately around the same time. My parents brought me over to one of your family's older shops. Just there, but then we met. Quite a feisty lady, if I may be so bold to say. But enough about that. You said you needed the library later.
I thought I'd peruse it and see if there's any information about the temple and the mountain. And
I need to write some correspondence later to my brother in the Tin Isles, so I shall be there with you. Is that okay?
That's fine by me,
Good.
particularly if they can keep this coffee running.
Yes.
You hear a
Hmm?
clearing of the throat, and there's movement in the west wing.
You know, my brother always did have the largest of crush on your mother. It was quite funny back in the day, actually. He would bend over backwards for any whim that she had. Well, sorry for him. He didn't see that she was playing him. Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry. Does this make you uncomfortable?
Sleep lightly, Uncle. Sleep lightly.
Oh, me. Always.
And thus the two of you, in time, come to the study, the library here, which is, it's not expansive, because again, this is more overtures of Hunting Lodge than a study or academia of any kind, but it is stocked. There are plenty of older books and newer books. There's a fair amount that are journals of hunting journeys and expeditions in the forest of Solstice. But there are older books and geographic books. This house has been... It very quickly fell out of the hands of the nobility and into the bourgeois hands. So thankful, this place has seen far less devastation than since this was not any particular noble's house, the people didn't see fit to devastate the place.
More's the pity, but still. Yeah, so between maybe some of the hunting expeditions, if there's any books about Aileron's campaign over Iceheart, yeah, let me see if I can't find out anything about the old church and the mountain.
Give me an intelligence roll, please.
Please. In theory, a base success?
You'll get some information.
You want to repeat that? Or...
Hmm?
You want to repeat that, Diego?
I don't think so. I'm afraid that if I spend all of my points early, when I really need them in making shitty rolls, that they won't be there.
But that's why this is fun. We cause a time paradox.
You will find with that roll that Mount Iceheart is a place where hunting does happen. Generally, most of the hunting here at Solstice is in the Solstice Forest. And you learn that since this was the Villa Solara once upon a time, but given the revolution, naming things after Saint Solara is not a great idea if you want it not to be burned to the ground. So Solstice, there. It's not as bad, but it's so close to the name.
Right.
And you won't get lost, you know. You have to change as many maps. But there are some expeditions, bare ones, of going into the mountains, hunting some mountain animal fare and some falconry and such. Not a whole lot on the building, or what is there is in languages that you haven't been taught. They're older tongues that you wouldn't, like the old Magi tongue, for example. That's a language that most people don't learn anymore unless you're a scholar of the ancient texts.
Right.
But there's one or two books here on that topic, probably for someone who may have brought it with them or some such scholar who left up here. Because some people will bring books to leave here at the lodge because they think they're going to come, because they expect to come back. So to that end, you actually see some newer books on that end, some penny dreadfuls and such as well.
Right. Anything about Aileron's campaign over the mountain?
There would be, yeah. I imagine Aileron himself would have made sure a book of that venture would have gotten here.
Well, maybe I'll read through that because he's well known for being a supporter of the sciences and, you know, having people with him who write about the geography of the places he goes through. Maybe they can give me some information on some of the mountain passes and paths.
Give me perception empathy. You might be able to... You're rereading similar things, but you might see something between the lines of what Aileron wrote about.
About a 15. this time?
On a 15, though Aileron does talk of the campaign, you do see reaffirmations of what your instructor talked about back then, that he had that Aileron himself did consider it, and if what he had read during his time of the place and of similar temples is that they usually have great dry, sometimes flooded, but there are good places to store powder if you bother to look enough. So if he needed to do a prolonged fight with that church, he could have gone up to the mountain and stocked up, and just stayed there. So he had considered it, and he would have known about it. But he doesn't go into detail because the book kind of. But thus that we did not need to, ergo I did not need to go up there. So then, and so on. But it is obvious that he had considered, and he definitely knew about that temple, and likely read much about it. He just never wrote about it in this particular book.
No, fair enough.
Anything special McNeil is writing about to his family back home?
No, mostly the usual. Hey, I'm here at the villa. Things are nice. We're all alone. Diego's gotta stick up his ass. How are the Isles? Are they doing okay? How are you? And that's pretty much it.
Thus, do you enjoy your time in the study?
Mm-hmm.
As the sun begins to darken a bit, as it begins to set a little bit more. It's not quite dark, but you can tell it's getting darker. The sun is setting. That's when, about that time, the butler comes by, and lightly, he leans toward McNeil. He says, "Excuse me, Your Excellence.
Mm-hmm.
A matter of some import. Do not know if you wish your nephew to be aware."
Speak openly. Go ahead. Cat got your tongue.
Sorry, I saw something strange in the corner of my eye there. The Lady de Castrum is not returned. And
Not returned.
no, and your the golden comb of stewardship that you were entrusted with, or to be entrusted with. She had it, and she has not brought it back.
Okay, GM, what is the golden comb of stewardship?
Give me an intelligence roll. Yeah.
14?
And you have etiquette, right?
In my leadership, yes.
I'll pull that over here to add 2 to it, because it's kind of in that same vein.
Okay.
So 16. Actually, it's more than I was going to tell you. But yes. So as an old holdover from the monarchical days, there used to be a sword and shield for defenders of the hunting lodge, and then over time it became just the shield. Then over time it became some gloves, and then over time it became after the revolution it became a comb of the last of the lady who was staying at Villa Solstice, and she donated the various other artifacts like the sword, the shield, and the gloves to the Republic to help fund like food and stuff like that. But the golden comb's kind of that last vestige of a tradition, whereby since the Villa Solara, now Villa Solstice, moves from hand to hand, each person is, for legal reasons, is given a sort of stewardship, a temporary ownership or protectorate of the villa, and that is in the item of the protectorate item. So in this case, the golden comb. It's meant to show that you are the one. By etiquette, you're maintaining the house in good order, and you're attending to the proper traditions, such as making sure the staff are paid, making sure you're not overworking them, that sort of thing. To not have that when you leave, like, you're supposed to hand it off to the next person when you leave, or hand it off to the staff so they hand it off to the next person. So she's done, at best, a faux pas that makes her look bad. But if you don't get it back, it's gonna make you look bad as well because you won't be able to hand it off when you leave.
Oh, okay. I'll look over to the butler and say, "Oh, well, that's not very good, is it?
No, not
Where
quite.
where is she headed off?"
She's a Magi scholar, you see, so she went into the Mount Iceheart to look into the temple.
Oh, of course she did.
Yes.
So what? We should go look for her. Is that it?
Well, I could send some of our young boys and ladies to down up the mount, but
Young
I
boys
don't
and
know how
ladies.
much you want this to go beyond the central house, or how much you want the West Wing to be apprised of this situation.
Young boys and ladies will probably slip and break their necks on that ice. Diego,
Mm.
you wanted to go marching, didn't you? Well,
Sounds good to me.
put on your warm clothes, will you?
What's the head butler's name?
Mr. What did I say? Hartford.
Hartford. Mr. Hartford, could you supply my uncle and I with winter gear for night ride and potential climbing?
I'll have it ready for you at the door, sir.
Good.
And for the horses as well.
How long until sundown?
Check his watch. Hour and a half or so.
We leave within 30 minutes. Diego, I do not wish to climb there in the dark. Come on.
After the uncle comes out, I'll lean over to the butler and say, lanterns and oil as well, just in case.
Very good, monsieur. He gives you a nod, and then he grimaces a little bit, like, obviously.
Yeah.
But he goes off to attend to it.
McNeil will change in his comfy climbing clothes.
Yep. Diego will change as well, check his rifle and ammunition and all that good stuff. And then get ready to head out. Has it been snowing today, GM, or has it just been like a cold winter's day?
It's been
No
a cold
fresh
winter's
snow falling.
It's been a cold winter's day. It hasn't been falling very much. It was overcast at most, but
Okay,
as the day went on, did shift. It's gotten a little more windy. Low of -10 Celsius or 15 Fahrenheit.
Right.
But it's not falling or anything. The sky, if any, hilariously, the sky's cleared due to the wind.
Fair enough. So might be able to still track her. I mean, the wind will have obliterated some, but if it had been snowing all day,
Yeah.
not a hope.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, let's go to Mount Iceheart.
Yep, we'll mount up and we'll head out within half an hour. Because, like I said, we got an hour of light and I plan to use it.
Give me. There's a roll for riding. I forget which one it is.
Dex riding, probably?
Is it Dex?
Yep.
Oh, dexterity riding. Thank you. As you're trying to ride rather swiftly.
I got a 13.
I got an 18 with 4 stunt points.
Easily done. You have 4 stunt points as you ride rapidly along the roads. The road, sorry. Down to Mount Iceheart.
Okay.
What are you spending on?
That's what I'm looking at. Let's see, what are my spell stunts?
Lethal spell.
I got 4. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to spend 2 on wariness to get +2 since it is kind of cold and slippery, and I might need help on a riding roll.
Mm-hmm.
And
May I convince you 2 on assist?
yeah, that's what I was looking at too, and 2 on assist for McNeil.
The two of you very rapidly arrive with light to spare as you got to the foot of Mount Icehard.
Right. Now, Diego, this is what you've been training for, right? Find us a path up this mountain and make sure it's one that horses can clamber over.
Yeah, Diego's going to look for a route up the mountain, but he's also looking to see if he can't find signs of the lady from Castrom's route, because if she got in trouble on the way up, she might still be there with a broken leg. So see if I can't find the way up she took.
Perception, tracking, survival, something along that line.
Okay. Quit being weird.
I can't. I'm sorry. It's just the way I am.
That's fair enough. It's talking to my roll 20.
Oh.
This perception tracking. Sorry, just perception in this case. 13 won't do it. I'll spend an AP one way or another.
13. Because you left so quickly, 13 will get it.
Won't or will?
Will.
Will, okay.
Yeah, you see the her horse's tracks in the snow.
Looks like the lady went up this way.
Good eyes. Let's see what it has.
Yep.
What it holds for us.
Follow up. Follow the tracks.
Start heading up. This feels like an advanced test. So you get up part of the way, and you get up the mountain a bit, following her trail, and then you come to a intersection of trails going different ways along the mountain.
Tracking again?
You could do tracking again, yep.
McNeil, what's your perception?
We're looking at a +1.
Okay, I'm one better than you, so.
I can assist you if you want.
Yeah.
Complex, that's what it's called.
Look at this roll!
Oh, no.
Nice.
Well, unfortunately, you only had a +1 because you're assisting.
You get a 13.
13 will get it.
Okay.
4 and 2 puts you to 6. You do have 2 scent dice. As you're able to kind of trudge your way following her trail as you're losing sunlight.
We'll do Go ahead.
I was also going to add part of the reason you're losing sunlight a little faster than you were anticipating is that the mountains are getting in the way now. So there's there's valleys and such that are starting to be benighted and shadowed.
Okay. I'll spend those 2 on insight for the next similar roll. I'll get a +1 to the test next go round. And yeah, definitely light one of the lanterns to help see. Or both the lanterns, or whatever.
You always got a lantern. Your lantern's a light, and you've been spared a fair amount of oil for a nightly jaunt. Well,
right.
A nightly expedition because the butler knows
right.
knows you might be out here for a bit, so he didn't spare the oil. But he didn't give you so much you were lugged down either, because that doesn't help mountain climbing at all.
Have a sip of tea from the insulated canteen and continue on.
You come to a spot. Oops, nope, not what I was going for, sorry. Where you notice that there is a horse kind of wandering around, munching at what few greenery is up here. Poor thing looks very unpleased with its situation. Thankfully, though, it's not a long distance horse. It's more a mountain horse. So it's a little more stubby, so it's not as uncomfortable as your horses likely are.
I'd like to try and approach it, dismount from my horse, approach it on foot, be like, oh boy, whoa, and try and grab it by the reins.
communication, animal handling.
Yeah, does it have like tack and saddle on it?
It does, yeah.
14.
14 will do it. The horse is fairly well trained. It's not a war horse that's meant to kick away a foreign rider, so you're able to very slowly approach it, and it looks annoyed that you're bothering it while it's eating, but it's also cold and you're a human, so it lets you come closer.
Oh, if I had to speak with animals. Oh, filthy peasant, what are you doing touching me? Check the saddle. Does it have any saddlebags?
It does.
Dig around.
There's some feed, of course, a bit of extra water, a bit of extra food. There is gaps, like a lot of stuff's been taken out. And there does seem to be in one saddlebag. In the other saddlebag, there is a large gap, like a lot of stuff was taken out, but there's one thing that's been left behind, which seems to be a map case.
Diego, take a look at this, and I'll throw it over to him.
As you throw it, you feel there's weight in it, and Diego, when you catch it, you feel something's rattling inside.
See what's in it.
Pop it open.
Knew I should have gotten cartography.
You unfurl it. Give me a roll.
Cartography and navigation kind of stuff are all under intelligence.
Yep, you're right. Intelligence.
Ugh. Okay, I'll action point that. Just gonna re-roll, see if that does me any better. It does do me better.
Better.
This looks to be like a trail map of Mount Iceheart. So the various trails that go. You actually notice it's fairly detailed cartographer's map that shows the various lines that go. You find out very quickly that you went up the easier way. There are other ways to get up that are considered much harder. For example, the Aileron way is considered the worst way to cross the mountain.
Yeah, well, you'll have that.
But not that he knew that, and cartographers since have lanced their way through this place.
So, any annotations to the map?
Temple, top area, low area, and you notice where you are is located as it looks like you are at a spot, according to the map, where you're supposed to get off horse and ascend a little bit to get to the temple. Because the other paths that you need to take by horse are very winding from here, and they're a lot harder to do for a horse anyway. It's almost easier for you to get off horse and walk those. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just, as far as doing annotation screens, you might as well just climb up it.
What does it
Looks
say,
like we
Diego?
walk from here.
Oh, bloody well, fine. Tie up the horses, will you? I'll take care of her horse, if this is her horse.
Yeah, I'll hobble the horses and set out feed for them. Make sure they all have spread out extra blankets over their backs.
Very good.
Try to find some place that gives them a little bit of shelter from the wind, where the rocks will help with that. All three.
Give me intelligence. Natural lore.
Ugh. Okay, I'm not going to spend a point on that.
You do your best, but your dragoon training is not as up to snuff as your sharpshooting training is.
Fair enough.
Horsemanship isn't as up to snuff, I should say. Spoiled by the Academy's stable team.
All right. So then with the map in hand, as it were, or in my backpack, see if we can kind of follow the route, see if we can't track her some more too, see if we can on foot.
You know, this really isn't good for my gout.
Perhaps you should drink less port.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps you should keep silent.
It gets darker and darker still. Perception tracking. +1 because you have a map. You have a rough idea where she might go.
I'll help you out with this if I can.
So that's 12. And I think the insight would kick in there, so 13.
13 tells you that you can't find her tracks anymore. This is the last part where her tracks went. Mind you, her horse has ruined the ground a bit. That's why it's making it a bit harder on top of things. You don't see an exit point of her bootsteps going out somewhere. And you're pretty sure she didn't come back the way you came because you likely would have seen her. Even according to the map, you would have, unless you literally scaled the rock face and parkoured her way along the tips. She's not. You would have ran into each other.
I reckon she'll be at the temple then, eh?
Well, we can hope. If she's following this map, there's not too many routes from here she could take. So yeah, follow the map along the most likely route.
Now, there's two ways to the temple. One is a climb up, and then there's a winding way that goes all the way south and loops back up north. As you kind of very slowly ascend that way, but there's also the straight up way.
What path would a noble lady like herself take?
Well, the question is the winding path the one you would have stayed on your horse to do, more than likely, or?
You can do it, but it's easier to unhorse and walk, because now it gets a lot narrower, and very few horses are comfortable being bracketed in like that.
Okay, well, with the fading light and the time sensitive, I say we climb, and then if we don't find her along the path or in the temple, we take the other winding way down and see if she's taken shelter there.
Curse is some vacation this has turned out to be, eh?
I don't know. I'm besides worrying about the lady, I'm actually kind of enjoying this. I wanted to check out the temple anyway. Is that the horse or?
Yeah, that was the horse kind of making noises because you're making noises.
Fair enough.
Be quiet. Quiet, horse.
Blows wind at you with its nose.
Yeah, sure. That was his nose.
No, you would distinctly know it was the other one. Not much missing that.
So yeah, Diego will see if he can't find this more direct route.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
To climb, be strength climbing.
Can I argue for Constitution stamina?
Or dexterity, acrobatics, parkour.
You would be Constitution stamina if you're going the long way around, because it's going to get colder and darker. But if you're climbing straight up, then it's your climbing skill that's being measured. Because if you lose your handhold, you'll slide down the rocks. Whereas the other way, you'll just get tired walking.
I'm re-rolling this. Oh, it's even worse. God.
Yeah, you're gonna start. You're gonna get up a little bit and fall. But thankfully, you didn't get very high. So, yeah. Diego, you're starting to get up there, and then the very first few handholds McNeil gets to, it's like just skins across. Thankfully, your gloves save you a bit, and you don't fall very far. It still hurts a little bit. You take all of 5 damage. Like, it's a really nasty, like, you caught, like, a really spiky bit of rock and gashed your glove.
Now, let's see if I can get up and I'll secure a rope down to you. That'll make that life easier.
Yes, what a splendid idea. I wish I had thought of it sooner.
I mean, not that my climbing is any better than yours, but I just had a bit of roll there. We'll see what happens.
Just climb, nephew.
Give me another strength climbing. You did make a ton of progress with that 5, so you're probably gonna be up there in the next roll. I'll be shocked if you know.
Wow, the same roll.
Cormac, you start getting up a bit. You're being a lot more cautious with your handholds now. But Borgia, you're able to kind of cover the rest of the distance and get up to the top. Thankfully, it's fairly. This is the easier way to climb up, rather than there's other ways to climb here, and this is the shorter version. So you kind of get up. You can even see the temple just a little bit. There's a path a little bit away from you, and there's a door down that way. But you can see your uncle very slowly picking his way up the wall.
All right,
we
I'll look for a
resolve
place to
the-
secure a line and drop a rope down to him.
Can we resolve the stun points?
You can, yep.
Oh yeah,
I'll
Go ahead.
spend 3 for compensate so I don't suffer weather penalties. Or slippery slope penalties.
I'll adjust for that, yeah. And what do you want to spend yours on there, Diego?
Extra information.
This looks like the way she went. There's the snow is brushed away a lot more, and that's kind of what you followed. You followed you found that there was areas that looked for a lot less snow covered, and it's like, oh well. Looking down from here, it's obvious that's the way she must have gone. That's the easier way to climb up for most anyone who knows climbing.
So yeah, I will see if I can find a place to secure a line and drop it down.
Cormac, give me another strength test. Diego, you can assist with something other than climbing.
Dexterity?
I'll take dexterity, yeah. Uh-oh. I ain't gonna...
Give me your AP, Diego. I'm all out.
Okay, you can have my AP.
Better.
There you go. You definitely get up with that.
Okay.
You won't have
And I'll spend 5 on swiftness.
Very quickly, you as you're kind of halfway up the wall, you start sliding for a second. Then you're, oh no, you got yourself. Oh, take a second, take a breath, examine the wall, think what you're doing. You've done this as a kid, probably back in Strathcliffe. It's just with a lot less snow involved, and you remember. Okay, you start scrambling up the thing. Your arms hurt a little bit from the strain of catching your body weight, but otherwise you're okay.
So yeah, call back up the rope and head towards that door I spotted. Looks like this is the way she came.
Curse you and your mountaineering, Diego. Oh, I have a scrape on my knee.
Again, less port might be the answer to the gout, Uncle.
It's not a gout at this point, Diego. I'm cold. I'm bloody hungry, and I've got a scrape on my knee.
We just ate a little bit ago.
Physical labor makes a man hungry.
Well, there's jerky in your bag.
Down there, anyway.
What, you didn't grab your food bag?
Who would... We were climbing.
Well, yeah, but it's not like it's a lot of... Here, have a piece of mine. Ah! Is this a... Okay, this is just a moderately sized Corbidian map.
Yeah, you're able to find a door that opens up. It looks like it would have been locked, but it's since been unlocked. And you find yourself a rather steep, almost perilously steep stairwell that you kind of have to put your hands out to the walls to keep yourself from completely just skidding the rest of the way down if you lose your footing. Because what handrails? This is made in the age of the Magi. Keep your feet.
Yeah.
But as you get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, the cold becomes duller, the air wetter, and this sort of mildewy smell starts permeating that as you feel like you're sinking yourself into that smell, until eventually you can kind of see a bit of brickwork and pooling of water with bits of ice crystals forming.
My, looks like this place hasn't been inhabited for some time, is the way it looks like, right? Do we see cobwebs on the walls or anything or dust caked anywhere? Or worse
you
yet,
see the
considering
glisten
this
of moisture and bits of mold growing.
Yeah,
However,
that's what I was going to ask, mold, yeah.
surprisingly, amidst the mold, ringing the water, like along its edges, you do see a rather pretty flower. Not a flower, but a bunch of flowers kind of growing along it. Let me describe them. They are kind of catching the light of your lantern quite well, almost giving the illusion that they themselves are glowing with some sort of ethereal light, but that's just a trick of your lantern light hitting the flowers in a certain way. And it's kind of glowing this soft, almost moon yellow color.
Take the initiative, will you, nephew? I'll follow in your footsteps as closely as I can.
been up here before. Ever heard about the flowers?
I'll take a look at the flower. I don't know, but
Diego Borgia, give me Cormac McNeil, give me Constitution tolerance. As you enter the chamber.
so both of us.
Both of you, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
with 5 stun points.
Nothing with no action points?
Well, that's what you get. No. Bear with me. Oh. This. Results up to you. There we go. As you both descend into the chamber, the smell of the flowers pierces through the mold, and you get this almost bright note to the odor. Think like almost like a honey sort of smell, but a lot cooler in texture. And you feel, for Cormac, it's a... You've kind of smelled... You swear you've smelled this before somewhere. A lot more subtle than this. Like, you've smelled essence of whatever this is. Never, immersed yourself in it like you are now. Borgia, unfortunately, that bright note and that honey note becomes almost saccharine and dazzling as you find everything, all the light in the room becomes a lot more saturated and a lot brighter. Every color seems far more vibrant. And you are currently suffering from a condition. It's the right one. Yeah. You find your thoughts kind of flittering around as you are now confused.
Well, dang it.
I have 5 stun points. We must resolve this.
You must, yes, because you did succeed at yours.
Okay. Well, I would like to compensate for this smell so that it no longer bothers me as much.
Put like a wet cloth to your face or something like that, yeah.
Yes, and I should like I should like some insight, perhaps. But that's different. When performing an action that logically proceeds from this one, you gain a +1 bonus to the test. Okay, yes, I should like some insight, because I know that this smell is probably too rough for Diego, as I can probably tell from his body language. So I'd like to pull out a handkerchief, dab some perfume on it, and try and press it to his face.
Give me an intelligence roll.
With a +1. So 15 overall.
15 is enough. Like, Diego, for a minute there, the smell off the perfume almost becomes choking, like you almost back off from it, but as that choking feeling hits, it overrides the sweet smell and everything just dulls, and you're able to kind of, I mean, you're smelling something else that really strongly, it's not terribly pleasant, but because you're sticking perfume up to your face, but your senses are still with you.
Okay. So
Keep
I'm
it
no
close.
longer confused.
Keep
You're
it
no longer
close to your
confused.
face.
Okay.
Keep
Yeah,
it close to your face. It might help you out a little bit.
Diego will tie it around his lower face. Thanks, Uncle.
Smell of elderberry.
So, did I tell you last time about that one, elderberries? They used to. It's a very cleverly made insult because what they implied was that you are, because peasants used to make alcohol out of elderberries by fermenting it, because they didn't have money to buy beer. So at one point, you're also implying that someone is poor and that they're an alcoholic. So it's quite a clever insult.
You're a poor alcoholic. You're not even rich enough to be properly alcoholic.
Exactly. Drink beer like the rest of the normal people. No, you have to ferment your elderberries. You are poor as well. Yeah, but yes.
So how deep is this pool? Is it just like a thin scrim of water on the
It gets up
cobbles?
to about. It gets about up to your ankle.
Okay. So yeah, Diego will kind of carefully skirt through it and around it.
Slosh, slosh.
Yeah.
Likewise. Slosh, 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 slosh. Have we got our torches out, by the way? Our lanterns.
You do.
Yeah. We've had him out. Is this a doorway to our north, for lack of a better direction?
Yes, seems to be a closed door with some water leaking under it.
Let's make it like this. Hang on, while we have all this darkness here. We'll make it like here. Can I, GM? Can you let me draw, please?
Oh, you are drawing. You just can't see it.
Oh well, curses. Never mind. I wanted to draw an arrow pointing north, but never mind.
See if I see any signs of the woman we're looking for is passage.
Give me tracking. Good luck.
Yeah, there should be like if this place is caked in like some dust or mold, there should be maybe places that have been disturbed by footsteps.
Ooh,
18.
There you go.
18's
There you
pretty
go.
good. I was looking for a pretty high number that might do it. That'll do it for now. Yeah. You notice that at first, oops, don't snap the center. Bit of disturbance, gets lost. Bit of disturbance.
Okay.
And then a lot of chaotic movement.
Wonder if the flowers affected her or something else. But yeah,
I'll actually tell you with the 18. There's more than one set of footprints in that room.
Oh, looks like our friend ran into somebody or someone's. Okay, stunt point 6. Extra information for 3.
Extra information. Someone with wet boots came, likely from this direction. A lot of people. Thick, sturdy boots. Heavy set looking folk, probably just because of their footfalls. There was somewhere between, say, 4 to 6 of them, other than her, because her footprints she has nice sturdy boots that you've been tracking, so you kind of know hers are a lot smaller, but they are sturdy. But then there's these big, heavy boots that they're kind of sprawling around the room. Some sort of
okay.
Yeah, that's most I can say with footprints.
Then let's do my favorite other thing and spend the other 3 on pay attention, where I can gain an additional lead.
You will note that there are drag marks, and there is amongst the must, you can almost smell the faintest hint of black powder having been fired. A lot of black powder being fired. That's why it's hanging in the air so much, because it's wet. But you're not seeing a whole lot of blood on the ground. Actually, you're not seeing any, surprisingly.
This is all in that next larger room.
Yeah, all in this area. The moist air is kind of helping with that odor as well. It's kind of carrying it a little bit.
Looks like she was ambushed and somebody's firing weapons, but I don't see any blood.
Ambushed by what? Don't be silly. We're not at war.
4 to 6 people. Now, you don't need a war to have bandits, Uncle. Or if there's something of value in this temple that somebody's either trying to keep to themselves or trying to protect. Remember, I told you about the zealots Isabel and Luciano and I ran into last year.
Same year.
Earlier this year, in the spring.
Perhaps the lady and her guard came across rodents of unusual size, and they fired their weapons upon her.
She didn't have a guard.
Are you quite sure about that?
We've only been tracking one set of horseshoes and one set of footprints.
Blast it all to hell. I'll pull out my flintlock pistol. This is what you've made me do now. Fine.
So what's the condition of this door to the north?
It looks a bit rotted, a bit misshapen, but it's there. Just give the Magi credit; they knew how to build stuff.
Yeah.
It's laced with like metal and stuff to kind of keep it from completely rotting and falling away.
Yeah.
It looks very unpleasant.
So it looked like the drag marks were going that way. I only see the one entrance.
There was dragging like here, but it's hard to say which way they went because because of the chaos.
Okay.
But someone was dragged somewhere, and it's not the way you are because you would see that in your room.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's see what's behind door number 1 here.
Yes, quite.
You try to open it, and it's not locked, it's jammed because it's misshapen and warped.
Okay.
You can try to force it open.
Let's try not to make any excess noise unless we have to. There must be a way to get around this warp itself. Take a look at the hinges. Do you have one of those military knives that they give you with you?
No.
You don't?
I have my mangoge and my bayonet.
Try and look. There's some screws over there in the hinges. Do you think you can try and unscrew it nice and quiet, and maybe it'll fall off?
Dexterity lockpicking, essentially. At a -1 because you're using a tool that's not really meant for it.
I do have a lockpicking kit after our adventure in the spring. I picked up one.
You could use that to try to you could use that to help you get the bolts loose because they're specialized for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 14, I think my lockpicks, which are very nice, very nice, give me +1, so 15.
That'll do it. You're not defeating a difficult lock. You're just trying to unhinge a door, so you're able to pop it. If anything, you're more having difficulty fighting the rust that's developed than you are really trying to get the thing open. This was not meant to be a defensible door.
Yeah, but Voltigeurs always carry a bottle of WD-40, right? So.
Yeah.
So 2 on wariness.
Very good.
Let's see if we see what lies beyond.
And you see a room flooded with water.
Like again, ankle depth or
waist deep, if not further. You'd have to go in to see how deep it is, but you see stuff floating in the water.
Oh. But has it spilled out to us or?
Yeah, we open the door. Does it?
Yeah, it starts spilling out a little more to where you are, but it's not flooding your room. It seems that room must be lower than your room is.
Oh, okay. Blast it all. Why is this place underwater? Why is there water here? Is there leakage somewhere?
I mean, the mountain is covered in snow, and it got a little warmer as we went down, so...
They did make these things so they don't leak. See the stones? Oh, well.
Ask the Magi.
Actually, to that end, you actually see that there seems to be some sort of hole for where a fountain was. Or, well, rather, you don't see the hole where a font of water would come from. You see the top of a font as it's flooded the room.
Oh, dear. What do we do?
Neglect has done this room no favors.
Okay, Diego will use his sling his rifle and use the point of his rapier to probe the water depth before stepping in.
Give me perception touching of all things.
Oh Lord, there's one you don't hear much. Diego likes to touch stuff.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
Say no more.
Oh, you did do the roll. What am I doing? I'm awake.
17.
That will definitely tell you. That is about belly button deep, just above your waist. And with your hand like pushing down quite a bit, you're like having to put the rifle a bit in with like with your two hands. Even with your hands that close to water, the water feels cold. It's not frozen over, but that is really cold water. You can feel it sucking the heat away from you.
Yeah, I say we don't go in there unless we absolutely have to. Between the wet and the cold of the water in here, and then having to descend the mountain later, we'd be bound to catch pneumonia.
Yes, freezing is not on the itinerary for this vacation, Diego. I'll be in the next room.
Yeah, we'll kind of see if he can't shove the door back into place.
You've unpinned it, so you kind of have to.
Yeah.
You fashion a sort of blockade of rotten wood.
Yeah.
And then immediately the wood just kind of melts from your touch, and there's like bits of metal hanging off of the
fair enough.
thing. It's like you put it there so it's not falling on the floor, but yeah, that door's useless now.
Right. Follow my uncle into the larger space carefully. Oh, we're gonna have to go into that room.
Oh, curses, there must be another way.
Parkour!
What can you tell us about this room, Jim? This room that we're in. There seems to be a lot of milling about here. Is there anything on the walls? Anything that catches our eye?
Give me intelligence roll.
10?
Your notes, where are you? It's this one. That's why. Looking about this room, this feels like you're not sure what. There's something missing to this room. It's escaping you. You're not up to date on Magi architecture. You studied it like once as a child, because of course you did. But like,
no sign of any altars or anything of the sort.
If there were any, they've been since removed.
No tapestries on the walls.
No, actually, that's part of why it's throwing you a bit. It feels like there's something that's supposed to be in here.
Right.
That's escaping your notice, your knowledge. I should say.
Diego, I seem to recall faintly that these Magi rooms always had some way to try and look for secrets in the walls, perhaps. You have better eyes than I do. I'm fairly old now. Any rocks that seem out of place? Anything of the likes?
So then I will do the ancient art that is 50 years old today of searching for
find secret doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perception seeing.
Happy birthday, D&D. We're doing this for you.
Just not doing it so hot. 15.
15 reveals that there is a false door here that looks like brickwork, but is in fact a door.
If we had paid more attention to the map, we might have seen that for ourselves without been metagaming.
There's a bit of water leaking under there that kind of hints that there's something there.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, if we can suss out how to open this passage.
Normally there are push-in mechanisms. See if you can push in or push out one of the bricks. They should be a bit looser than the others.
Alternatively, why don't you try it, and that way I've got you covered with a rifle if the door swings open into something unexpected.
Fine. Stand back then. I'll grab my 10-foot pole, walking stick, and I'll start tapping along the wall to see which one might hold a bit more, a piece of stone that's more loosey-goosey than the others.
Eventually, you poke at it. No roll here. It's a matter of just methodically doing it. Eventually, you'll get it. You're able to push one in, and you feel it kind of pop out of its hinge, and you can feel that the door will give, like if you give it a push. Funny enough, this feels like a very surprisingly well-engineered door.
Is it mechanical in nature?
It feels so, yeah. You can hear it, you can feel it as you press into it.
Okay,
historical trivia, I will note that in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, the second theoretical edition of AD&D, the pole that you could buy as an adventurer was actually an 11-foot pole, that was in the equipment list. It was so you could touch things you would not touch with a 10-foot pole.
I
True
believe
fact
Good.
from
that.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
I love my 10-foot pole. I don't go anywhere without my 10-foot pole. Okay, I'd like to lean into the secret door, try and open it, and try and suss out where the mechanism is. Like, is it actually in the walls itself?
Intelligence. I'll need for that.
There's a 11.
You're not entirely sure. Whatever it is, it's well hidden.
Okay, I'll push against the wall and, try and use my lantern to light ahead. Oh! What in the goddamn?
Yeah, you push open and you reveal what appears to be an older woman in bright orange and yellow hiking dress, sturdy boots. She looks roughed up, gray in the hair, but it looks like it was once upon a time like put up into a bun, but it's all sprawled out now. She's just, as it looks like she's been unceremoniously kind of thrown into this freezing, shallow puddle of cold water. And you can see she's not moving very much.
Oh god, I'll set aside the lantern. Diego, help me out here, and I'll rush into the water and try and drag whoever is out there.
Give me strength might as you're pulling her out. Very low target number, but you're trying to pull her out quickly.
13.
Yep, you're able to kind of heft her out of it. She feels shockingly lighter than she seems. As you're able to pull her out of you don't stand very long in the water, so you take no damage because you were there, grabbed her, and yanked her out of the water without literally tossing her.
Diego's moving back to keep these areas, because you said like the boots came from, the heavy booted people came from like here, right? Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of keeping that covered.
Kneel over this woman. Any obvious wounds? First of all, is she breathing?
That is a roll, good sir. And that roll is a medicine roll, which I believe is intelligence.
Yep.
Healing, but still, same difference.
17 with 6 stun points.
That will do. That will do, little pig.
Will it? Will it? Can I manipulate her?
Sure. It seems that she's suffering. She's not dead, but she is suffering from a condition. Let me tell you what that is, because that will color what you do, I imagine.
Frostbite?
It's probably part of it, honestly. Defenseless, no kidding, she's unconscious, thank you. Unconscious, obviously. Obviously. She's not scarred much. No, not to the degree that's a condition, no. She is not dying. That is a particular condition. However, from what you can tell, she is suffering from extreme fatigue, 3rd degree fatigue, so she's exhausted. Essentially, even when she is roused, she'll be at a -3 to every test. She moves a half movement, can't run or charge. And if she loses half her health while in this stage, she just goes unconscious. So she doesn't benefit from her full HP. So she was probably in there for a while. Okay, and then eventually being submerged in that water being in that room in water for so long, she eventually just fell unconscious from just
and
being
I
cold
imagine
and wet.
she does have a degree of frostbite as well.
That's likely what that is. That would be expressed by, yeah.
Okay, Diego, blanket, quick, from your knapsack, or anything to cover her.
If I have a blanket, sure.
Give me another intelligence test +1. Although you do have your stun points to resolve.
Yeah, stun points. Extra information. Is this the lady that we've been looking for?
It looks so, yeah. You see all the telltale signs of a castrum lady, her dress, her attire, the way her hair, what likely was bunned up, that sort of thing. She looks to be somewhere, she looks around your age, maybe a year or two older.
Okay, I'd like to spend the other 3 on compensation. She is clearly cold and wearing a lot of clothes, and I need to get her warm somehow. Wearing a lot of wet clothes, and I need to get her warm somehow and really quickly, so I need to think on my feet. And I want that wet clothes not to be a problem so much.
You find with Compensate, I'll say that you're able to find that she has like some of her stuff with her, and it looks like she does have dry clothes. She just never had a chance to, in her confusion and frost, she didn't have a chance to change out of her current clothes into fresher clothes. And it looks like she needs multi-layered, so that way the outer layers get wet first, so she can get rid of those and put on new stuff.
Okay, I'll give you that intro now.
Easily done. Easily done.
Why now? Why? Well, I mean, this is a good place to end.
Right.
Swiftness. I want to take everything that's wet off her as quick as I can, throw it aside, put something warm around her, take my canteen that's like filled with, I don't know, lukewarm tea or something, and try and drip feed her just a little bit.
She comes to rather quickly once you get her warmed up and around, so her eyes kind of flutter open. Looks at the two of you with. There's a half second of alarm, and then immediately taken over by confusion because a Tin Islander and a Wenelani. Huh? What are they doing in here? And also, Borgia is in, and you're both in like generic winter clothes, so you just look two regular people right now who are in here. One of you with a strange rifle, so that gets her attention pretty quick. She doesn't look frightened, it's just more of a start of, rifle, oh.
My lady, try not to exert yourself. You are suffering from intense shock. You were passed out in that water over there before I could pull you out. What's your name?
What are you saying this to her in?
Yes, I'm saying this to her. What's your name?
No.
Oh, in trade?
Okay. She answers in trade. I am the Lady Valera Marino. Scholar of the Crown. Oh, that's so unpleasant.
Lady Marino,
more tea.
Why don't you... Yes, here you go, of course. Lady Marino, what on God's green earth were you doing here?
I was looking into this temple, and she sips more of the tea, and she spends a bit of time enjoying the fact that it's warm.
Lukewarm.
Hey, that's warmer than anything else in this bloody place. So she kind of goes quiet as she's kind of enjoying the warmth for a second, and realizes, oh right, I was talking. I'm here to, this temple was built for the Magi gods, the Amber Reaper. Supposedly it held secrets of their ancient weaponry. I was here on behalf of the Crown of Peninsula de Castrum. I got accosted by other peninsulars, of all people.
No kidding. Where did they come from? What did they want?
Well, I came in here. I was trying to think of how I was going to cross the flooded room over there. Then they just started stomping through with ferocity, saw me. Tried to shoot one of them. And then they tried to shoot me. Got deafening. Very confusing. And then somewhere along the way, one of them hit me, I think. On the back of the head. She feels at the back of her head. You remember when you looked her over, she did have a bit of a bump there. They didn't actually like draw blood, they just bapped her until she went down.
Okay, well. Is she a dainty sort of lady? I mean, is it easy to take her down?
She looks like she once was probably a mountaineer type lady, but age has kind of softened her a little bit. But she wouldn't go over with a stiff breeze. You'd need to give her a good thwack to make sure she went down. Like, they probably had a hard time fighting her off. But that said, she's no soldier.
How many of them were there, my lady? Try and remember. Any sort of details that you might remember are important.
There were 4 to 6 of them.
7.
They were heavy set.
That's probably right. Sorry, it's hard to remember. I've been in here for a while.
How
were they wearing waders to get through the water?
Yes, they were. They were dressed for. She says something in Peninsula. She waves her hand like she's struggling to think of the word in trade. Gear that is meant for deep cave climbing and ruin digging. They had that more than I did. I wasn't expecting this area to be flooded, but they were ready for it.
Now, my lady, 'tis not safe here for you, clearly. Would you like to return to your horse, which is waiting just down there? We found him nice and happy eating his food. And why don't you let me and my nephew here handle whatever you were searching for?
Oh, she reaches up to her hair. She looks at alarm at her empty hand. She starts, my dress. You have my dress that I was in?
Yes, I put it aside, I think, right?
Was there a comb in it?
No, I don't recall finding one.
Damn it. Pardon me, sorry.
Have the bandits absconded with it?
Yes. And if they took it, then they know what I know.
What is that, my lady?
The comb is one of the... It's not really a comb, it's a key. It's one of the old keys they used in temples like this to open old treasuries. That's why they attacked me, for this damn comb.
Of course, the treasury. My lady, fear not. My nephew Diego here is a very competent soldier. Isn't that right, Diego?
Competent enough.
What crown do you serve, young man?
No crown, lady, but the consulate of Gallia.
And I'm fairly certain, my lady, that we can recover whatever it is you've lost and stop these foul hooligans from advancing any further in the temple. Would you like to return to your horse, or would you like to stay here?
I'll stay here for a bit. I might start, once I get warmed up a bit more, I'll try to head down to my horse. Did you have horses?
We had 2 horses with us, yes.
If you take much long, I'll probably head down to the horses, but I'm going to take some time to collect myself and enjoy not being wet anymore.
And Diego, give her the piece of rope that we have. Why don't you take this and use it to descend down the path that you came?
Oh, yes, I'll leave the rope for you so you'll have an easier time coming.
Good, thank you. As for now, try and gather your bearings, and, well, Diego, you heard the woman. Let's wade through, shall we?
Oh, good sirs.
Hmm?
If you find the comb and find what it goes to and let me have it, I will gladly reward you. And if not, simply recovering it will be more than... I recognize who you are now. You're the Earl McNeil. I apologize. I should have recognized you.
No apologies necessary, madam. You were in a state of shock.
Well,
If I do recall correctly, the comb should have passed over to me, which is why we came looking for you.
explains why you're here. So...
Yes.
Well, we probably would have come looking for you with comb or no, lady, to be fair.
I didn't know...
The comb was just a happy circumstance.
Oh, well. Well, in that case, I was going to say the Earl McNeil will reward you for returning the comb at least, but I think you'll reward yourself all the same. She smirks.
Why don't you take this tea, lady, that I have the rest of it, and gather your bearings, will you?
Diego, meanwhile, will be using his rapier again to probe the water's depth here.
It's a lot shallower, you notice, at this part.
Like ankle depth, waist depth. Because over here was like belly button.
It's about perception touching, actually. Because you can't. There's a way to biff this. It's not. You didn't biff it. You're fine. It's not that hard. It's about just a little. It's about mid calf or so. So,
okay.
If you don't have gaiters on, it could flood your boots.
GM, question for you. What did you say these were? Were they like the top of fountains, or are they...
They're like things that are floating, like barrels and other boxes that were in the room that floated up.
Because I thought they were actually drainage channels, but alright. Well, what do you think? Safe enough to cross?
Well, it's certainly shallower on this end, but do we have gators? I mean, I know if Diego's wearing any kind of uniform, he probably would, but
If not, we can improvise. Grab a bit of cloth that you have, if you have any spare cloth, and try and like shove them in your boots so they stop. So the cloth gets wet and not your boots.
Give me intelligence.
Whomst.
You can be a combined roll. One can assist the other as you're kind of preparing yourselves to cross.
you've got the higher, so I'll assist.
All right. Nice one, nephew.
Why you're leading?
Yeah, 15 does it, maybe?
15 will do it, yeah.
So yeah, we'll make like a little makeshift cloth to absorb all the water that wants to go into our boots.
Yeah, it's unpleasant, but you're not gonna flood your boots at least.
Right.
You wouldn't want to go wading into the deeper parts, but you can do this little bit without
Right.
getting up to your waist.
Yeah, so staying close to the this wall.
Mhm.
Can I head up to the door here?
You can, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm right behind you.
Is it open?
The door is closed.
Is it unlocked?
You push at it, and you don't feel the door locked. You feel it thud against something on the other side, like something heavy's on the other side of the door.
Another jump, perhaps. Or
The dark comes free of it looks to be like it's a lot more metal reinforced, a lot lot less wood, a lot more stone and metal. So it's a lot sturdier from the water. Though the metal bits do look a bit rusted. I will admit.
is it barred on the other side?
It doesn't seem. It's like something heavy is against the door somewhere.
Yeah. Come,
So-
help me lean into it. Let's push out see if we can't push the obstruction enough to squeeze through.
Strength
Mind
might.
your powder, Diego. Yes.
Strength might. Okay. Man.
Oh, that's heavy. That didn't do it.
Oh my gout. Oh. So the 12 won't do it?
No.
This blazes. Damn it all to hell.
Let's try it again.
Wait, no, there must be a smarter way around this. Hand me your bayonet. Or your main gauche. Perhaps we can use it as a lever.
No.
Put it under the water so it gains more mass.
No.
Are you afraid it'll break?
Yes.
But do you have any sort of lever?
Let's lean into it. Let's try it again.
Curse you. Fine.
Move, you stupid! Oh, and you feel something clatter away from the door and roll, and you hear something sloshing and rolling. Once the door opens, it reveals that that there's some about small barrel that was full of some sort of liquid that's kind of rolling away from you.
Is it leaking this liquid?
No, thankfully.
Okay.
Last time I ever go on a vacation with your nephew.
Yes. So I head down here and stop the barrel and set it upright carefully, just in case it's something flammable / explosive /
It smells acrid.
Oh, okay. Just set it upright in that little corner there and check out that door to the north.
As you peer,
Might give it a swing at perception hearing, unless it's just obviously such a thick, well-made door that's probably useless.
you can give me hearing, actually. Not the worst idea.
Been a while since I've done a dungeon crawl, but I remember a few things.
Remember to check for traps. You're the rogue.
Remember
after all.
18 things.
You hear burbling of water. but you don't hear movement or any sort of animalistic noises.
Okay, 3 for extra information.
I'll actually note that this, as you get a bit closer, like you like, I'll say this hearing's happening as you're walking down and grabbing stuff. As you get to like here, this is actually a an archway that is decorated in various in fine carving, although it's been marred a bit by moss and mold and moisture. But otherwise, it's a very sturdy arch.
Okay.
And you asked for extra information. You're hearing that the sounds sound dull, so it must be that there are further rooms ahead that have doors. So you're only hearing maybe a room, maybe 2 rooms in. You're not hearing very deep into this place. Although, reverse that, because of that same construction, it's actually really hard for someone to hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Short of like musket fire, because black powder explosion, musket fire or rifle fire is fairly loud. But
And I still have 3 left. I think I'll spend it on wariness, so keeping my ears open, as it were.
very good.
All right. So just an archway, no door.
Yep. I will note the archway is decorated in the flowers. Like it's
And the flowers we saw down here.
all the water edges will have bits of that flower there. The archway is the only one where the flowers seem to have been purposely grown to be against that archway.
I'd like to try and maybe recall memory. What the hell is this flower? Like, I've smelled it before, but I can't put my mind to it.
Intelligence roll. You've had more time and exposure to it.
17 with 5 some points?
17 will get it. That flower is known as Lumina Bloom, or Lumina Blooms. It was a sacred flower for the Empire Magi. Supposedly, it's where magical energies come from, and where the Amber Reaper showed you the other side of the Amber Gate of Death, and so on and so on. But more practically, more scientifically, it is used in enough quantities. It could be used and prepared in the proper way. It could be used to as a rather intense pain reliever. Downside is it gives a hypersensitivity to light, which can cause confusion and delirium if not dosed properly. Hence why they probably thought it was magical, because it gave visions and made you have higher sight. Supposedly, there's one pharmacist who says it can make for the greatest sharpshooters if they can dilute it and distill it in the right way, but you're not sure how true that is. That's just a theory you read in some book or something you overheard at a chess club or something.
Okay, so this flower obviously carried some very special meaning for them.
I also note that you've never seen it in this much quantity. You've seen these in very particular, like singular examples. You've never seen them grown with this this much. Mostly because people didn't know how to grow them, how the Empire Magic grew them.
I'd like to spend 3 of these 5 points to assist Diego on his next roll, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'll point out, hey, Diego, by the way, these flowers, quite curious, apparently, well, if I recall correctly, they were very important and holy to these people. I've never seen so much of them in one place. It's quite intriguing, actually. And I'll spend the remaining 2 on wariness to remain alert for the possible consequences of my action. I'll get a +1 bonus to any test to avoid negative results from my actions.
Very good. Oh, you're deep in, so I should show.
Regular door here.
Yes.
Anything going on in this room in particular?
No. Right. Actually, as you're moving around this room, oh no, I said that part. Never mind. Sorry, reading my old notes. Over that way, there is a puddle of water, further north,
Right.
and that's where the burbling noise is coming from.
Okay. Carefully, like not trotting too much in the water, Diego, so you can get a glimpse around this corner.
You can see that there's a door on the far end, and you can see the water burbling underneath the door frame.
Okay.
What possible reason could the water have to be burbling?
It looks like it's coming from underneath a door. I'm guessing that there's a lot more water beyond that door that's kind of soaking through this way.
Flooded room, perhaps.
That seems right, GM?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The door is of what make? Would the pressure of the water not, like, collapse it at this point?
It's one of those Emperor of the Magi doors. They're fancy.
Yes, quite. Cormac would like to try and hear on the other side of this door, if possible.
Perception hearing?
Ooh, love me a good dungeon crawl.
What are you listening for? Tell me.
Mustn't ask us, not his business.
Unfortunately, your fervent whispering Mars whatever would have been on that door.
Yeah, Diego blasted, I can't hear anything. Can you hear anything?
I heard things from a couple doors in, so I think we might be okay. But sure, let's see if I hear anything out that door, particularly since I have some assistance.
I doubt these
Nice.
bandits. I doubt the bandits would be so stupid to lay traps behind them, but do check for something.
See, I'll listen through the door, see if I hear any.
Perception hearing?
15 plus.
You hear a whistling noise. Wind.
That's 18 from my wariness, and what did you give for your assist?
Did I assist you?
You said you were spending something.
He gave you a bonus +2.
Oh,
from
plus
the earlier roll.
plus 3 actually.
Plus three, sorry.
So 18.
So 21 total.
Oh.
I'll give I'll give free extra information because you got such a high roll. It sounds like it's a small room, and it sounds like the whistling noise is coming from probably a small aperture between like rubbled rock or something like that. So whatever that wind's coming, it's coming from outside.
Must have been the wind.
But wherever you're listening to, it's very small because it's echoing a bit, so it's making the wind sound louder than it is. But it's actually just a room that's echoing the noise a little.
Okay.
Like I said, do try and check. I'm not sure if the bandits would leave some sort of booby trap behind them, but better safe than sorry, right?
Sure. So in that case, spend 3.
Points.
Yes, in that case, spend 3 for extra information.
I'll hand that back to you. There's nothing you will gain from this. If you try to do extra information, there's nothing for me to tell you. You don't spend them fruitlessly. You get to use them on something else.
Fair enough. Okay, then let's do 3 on pay attention. Maybe get an extra lead. Maybe there's, crushed bit of moss or something showing the direction where these guys went or something in here.
Footfalls do look like they went this way, yeah.
And that leaves me with 2. So I'll just give 2 assists to McNeil for his next action, and then see if I can carefully open the door.
You are able to open the door.
What do I see beyond the door?
Death.
Gaping jaws of death.
An orb of annihilation. We are actually in the Tomb of Horrors.
It's a burning door. Oh no, midnight watch.
So you see this chamber, and you notice that here there are 4 columns bisecting the splitting up the room. There seems to be some ruined. There is a stairway leading up, but it seems to be caved in a bit from there.
Okay.
That's where water is trickling in from outside. But this water, unlike the other water, which isn't frozen, this one's like it trickles in, and a lot of it's frozen ice and stuff, and then it kind of warms up a little bit. You don't see any flowers in this room, so this room actually isn't producing that odor anymore. And on these walls, you can see depictions of robed figures performing various activities involving containers and tables and something to do with a sickle, something of that nature. This feels like both of you, even without a roll, this feels like the proper front door to this place. This would have been the place you would have entered, because it's Magi temples would want you to know immediately what the temple's for. So
what were all the rooms before? Like a reception?
I'll give you a new intelligence roll. You might have a better idea what those rooms are for now. Now that you figured out where the front door is. Hell if you know. Who studies that nonsense?
Could have been anything. Must have been the wind.
So yeah, I'll kind of creep up to where I can get a look. Is this door closed here?
It is, yeah.
You said this was partially caved in, the stairway. Is it still climbable, though?
You'd have to clear away the rubble. Like, the doorway's completely... There's, like, a bit of whistling wind coming through it, so it does feel like you could probably mess with it and clear it, but it would take time.
Where would that go? What would I reckon? Bell tower or some sorts?
Outside.
I think it goes outside.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay,
like the
so-
main entrance.
Ah, okay. All right.
We came in the side door. This is for, servants and stuff.
Quite right, I suppose. What about this door in front of us?
It looks like another stone door.
Why don't you give it a listen? You've got a couple assist points.
All right. I'll give it the old listen. Snake eyes.
Yeah, I don't think 6 points is going to do you to get there. Sorry.
You try to listen, but oh man, this room's pretty cold. It's distracting.
Ooh,
Okay.
Crazy.
So Diego will see if this door is unlocked and openable.
You feel it isn't locked, but you do feel thud. You feel weight on the other side. So there's something against the door.
Okay, I'll give it a listen. See. 11s?
Think, man. If it weren't for that wind, you could probably hear it. Also, wow, it is. This room is just pooling the cold in here. It's very distracting.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see if I
Crack it
can
open, boy.
see if we can't push past whatever obstruction.
Does it open towards us or away from us?
Away.
Away. Okay. Together as one.
As one.
As one.
Push. Give me strength might.
13.
13 and no assistance from me.
You push, and then there's resistance, and then the door just gives suddenly, and you hear a shattering of glass. You can both give me dexterity acrobatics, as something looks like it's falling from the ceiling, or not the ceiling, but from atop the door.
12.
12 won't do it for either of you. Sorry.
Well, I'm out of AP, I think. All right, we get 2, right? So. Wah, wah.
Yeah, I gave you my last one. So
You, as you both push through, you shatter something. Glass shatters. The weight gives way, and then something shatters that's glass, and then you're rained on in some sort of very pungent viscous chemical, and then there's bits of like glass and shards and stuff, so it kind of rains down on you and makes this very unpleasant cuts. It's not deep cuts, but it's a lot of tiny cuts with this ichor getting into the cuts, which is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Gonna carve
Does
that much? Not that.
the hat and leather armor help?
I mean, your armor value will apply, yeah.
Does the cold weather clothes help?
No, unfortunately. It doesn't give an armor value per se.
Curse you.
16 damage.
Oh my days, man.
Do we minus the armor from that? Is that
Yep.
how? It's been a while. Okay.
As it's a lot of ow, ooh, and then it's like you're as you're trying to brush away the bits of shards and glass and caltrop. It's like the ichor kind of sticks and it kind of freezes. It doesn't do any deep cuts, but it's a lot of tiny infected cuts, and you're ripping skin. You were able to clear it off you, but that hurt and it was exhausting to go through. Thankfully, there was no one waiting on the other side of the door to start shooting or stabbing you the minute you did that.
What was this? Was this a trap of some sorts, or?
Definitely. Someone trapped this door.
Well, they know we're coming now, I suppose.
Nah.
Do you have
Well-
any sort of alcohol on you? Please tell me you carry some.
No.
Not even to disinfect your wounds? Blast it all, what kind of a soldier are you?
That's what corpsmen are for.
Yeah.
Alright, would you mind if we took just a little seat? I need to catch my breath.
A
Yes.
5-minute breather, if you will.
Yeah. Right.
A 5-minute breather, if you will.
5 plus con plus level gain just by tending to the cuts and abrasions and drinking a bit of water, getting your breath back.
Almost back up.
Whew. I'm still quite cut up, but I'll have it tended to when we get back to the manor.
Speaking of,
There.
Constitution tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah. Saw that coming. Where is it? There's Constitution.
13?
10.
Oh, 10 definitely didn't do it. Let's find out if the other one does. Whoops, I can't type. There we go. Right. Cormac, you're fine. You're nice and pickled, so maybe maybe you got it off fast enough that didn't infect. Unfortunately, Diego, your wounds infect in a very due to the ichor. And you find a stiffness in your joints. Mostly in your joints at your extremities. So you feel yourself suffering the slowed condition. Your speed drops by half, and
Jesus.
if we were to do a chase test, like if you were chasing after somebody, you're at -3 to chase somebody because you're slower. If it involves your personal muscle power, and your initiative rating is at -3, so whatever you roll for initiative, it'll be -3 because you were obviously slowed. On top of that, no, I'm not going to do that other half. That doesn't make sense to me. No. I'll just do that. Yeah.
So poisoned, basically.
Basically, yeah. It's meant to slow your pursuers after a few minutes.
Ugh.
Are you feeling alright?
No, not at all. Whatever this stuff is, it's affecting me. Ugh, my
You
joints
actually
ache
see a
worse.
red puffiness in various parts where he was cut up.
Oh dear. Sit down here for a second, let me try something. We used to have snakes in the Strathcliff that bit the same way as these ones. I need to see if I can do something to you. Go on, sit.
All right, I sit.
I'll grab a like a small knife or like a survival knife that maybe we got, a small knife or something, and I'm gonna try and bleed him a little bit to try and get rid of whatever's in his bloodstream, just a little bit. You know, like trying to put leeches on him, but you know, I'll make a small incision just below the wound
Mr.
with the
Borgia,
knife.
Mr. Borgia, before
Uh,
Cormac rolls here, give me willpower, courage, faith, something along that line, to let him start jamming into you. That is not a comfortable. No, no, no,
nope,
no, no,
nope,
no. He's
nope,
pointing a knife
nope,
at you. That is so uncomfortable.
no. I don't think we're going to do
Um,
any of that. I will use like a canteen, maybe the one that's got a little bit of warm tea on it or whatever, to like kind of rinse the wounds.
Oh, that stings. Oh, that was not a good idea. Ow.
Well,
uh,
but that is kind of astringent. That's probably good.
It's probably good, right? It's probably not
are
interacting
you
with the poison in any way.
are you sure you don't want to do just a little bit of bloodletting?
I've never believed in that sort of thing.
Very well then, suit yourself. If you change your mind,
I
just be a
won't.
big boy and sit down and steal your nerves, eh?
I won't.
As a
All
matter of
right.
fact, I won't.
So what do we got? Take a peek around this corner down here. Another door. And a door here. Any signs of where these fellows we're sort of kind of following went through?
Both ways seem to have boot falls.
Okay.
Why don't you check this hallway, make sure something doesn't fall from you from above again, or from below for that matter, or from the sides, or from anywhere, and I'll see if I can hear something at this door.
McNeil, give me listening.
15 with 4 stun points.
You hear talk in Castilian of various people.
Ooh, okay. I'd like to spend those stun points. How many do I have? 4. Nerds. Can I get some extra information to see if this is trapped?
You don't hear anything that would indicate such.
Okay, that's 3. Uh, I'll give Diego 1 assist. I'll, quietly whisper to him while he's going away. I hear someone.
Okay, Diego will stop and
Astral voices.
we can go through and try and kill them all or surprise them.
They know that we're coming. We set the trap off. This is the most logical way of entry. We should try the other door.
Not sure they heard the trap, but okay.
I can't speak Castrum. Can you speak Castrum?
No. So yeah, I'll listen at this door.
Listening.
18.
No, you don't hear anything. Actually, the talking stopped. There's movement going on on the other side of the door, but you don't hear anything.
Of this one?
Yep.
The lower one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it sound like living movement, or is it water sloshing, or
Boots.
can I tell? Boots. Okay. Gently and as quietly as I can, try and see if the door is unlocked.
It is.
Okay. Open towards me or away?
Away.
Okay. I'll staying on this side with the rifle ready. I'll kick it open.
Initiative.
Oh, subtlety.
Which is there.
I rolled a 14.
So 17 minus 3 is 14.
Wrong thing.
You get the stun points as well?
You do, yeah.
No, not for initiative. You do?
I believe you do.
Oh well, okay then.
You can seize it.
I think I've got it. But depending on what bonuses they have,
You can boost.
with a 10.
Oh, hell, I should have brought the turn tracker. There it is. So, got 10, 12. Borgia, you have enough to seize?
Yeah, I'm at 14 right now too. What is seize the initiative? Is that
Puts you
combat?
to the
There it
top.
is. Yeah. I was meaning more. Which list am I looking under? Sure. I'll spend 4 to seize and 1 to boost. So, do we see this critter?
Yeah, you see two individuals who seem to be aiming muskets in your direction. You see they are dressed in heavy black and sturdy mountaineering gear with deep gaiters, and they have like sturdy, thick felt caps on, and very distinct looking Castilian mustaches.
And move is a minor action, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, do I have a shot at either or both of them from where I am?
You do.
Okay. So yes, I will take a shot at the closest one with my rifle.
Blam.
16.
That's a hit.
And rifle still correct? Yes. Oh wow, that's lousy. 6.
Yeah, you hit into the thick padding of his jacket arm, but
Okay.
don't do a lot of damage to him.
Minor action is with my firearm style. I can reload in a minor action. So I'll reload.
Okay. Cormac McNeil.
Oh, okay. How hard is it to squeeze past Diego?
Unless he bars your way, not at all.
Okay. I'll take my cane in one hand and my flintlock pistol in my left hand. And I'd like to... How much can I move? How much is each square?
2 yards.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
You reveal more of the map.
Oh, blast it all. This fellow that's close to me, I'd like to whack him with my cane.
Very good.
Does an 11 hit?
He bats away the attack.
Oh, bastard. Okay, now we die.
So this fellow... Oh, and you moved there, so you reveal more of this. This guy moves back. Shouts something Castilian. Blam! Fires into McNeil's back.
I'm locked in combat with someone else.
Don't worry, he missed. I think.
Well, my defense is a solid 11, so he hit.
That's important. Oh, and he has rapid reload for 1. And he's going to skirmish you away from his friend 2 yards as he fires into your leg and forces you to kind of stumble back away from him.
Son of a bitch. Okay, how much damage? Tell me.
13. Blam.
Oh.
This guy follows up the same shot at you. Blam.
Yeah, that hits. That hits. He's got 5 stun points as well. Give me that lethal blow. Hell yeah.
Five. He's gonna mighty blow for an extra d6. You must make an opposed attack roll as he's firing at your cane holding hand. He's trying to disarm you.
Okay.
And he's gonna rapid reload for 1.
Cane holding hand. That was 16.
18. Blasts it away from your hand.
Oh, my cane.
Your cane skitters away. Only 4 yards, so it's here. Then he actually does damage. Ooh, 17 damage.
Okay, I am at 0.
But this guy, just barely shoot at you, Diego. He'll take a penalty to hitting you because you have a bit of cover from him.
Just enough. My defense is 14.
Yeah, that's just.
I don't know what his
roll. Yeah, the armor won't be enough. Rapid reload. 1. Mighty blow. And he's going to skirmish you forward 4 yards as he fires into your leg in such a way that you end up tumbling forward quite severely.
No, you got me.
13 damage. And 5, 6, 8. Blam.
That is not enough.
That is nowhere near enough. You hear shouting in Castilian. Oops. Click, click. Six. 10. 2.
Huh.
10. You see him run. You see everyone else is dressed in these heavy black and mountaineering and spelunking type stuff, and that guy has like a metal like Castilian officers or nobles hat or adventurer's cap, as some Castilian may call it. And you see him bolt from one to the other as all of them are firing at you. Goes to you, Diego Borgia.
If I had any speed left, I'd go after that motherfucker. But I can't get there from here. Can I grab McNeil and drag us, move and drag him and I both back into this corridor here, give us some cover at least?
Strength might.
Oh, great. Yeah, 14.
Yep, you're able to do it. You move half your speed, essentially.
So half of half. So 8, so that's 4. Which is 2 deals, right?
Yep. So you can do this.
Okay. Fair enough. And I think that's it for me.
Cormac McNeil, you're in trouble.
Snooze.
What's your constitution?
It is a 1, I believe. Let me make sure. Yep, a 1.
Your life slowly ebbs from you, but you have not perished.
Oh, no. Corby, you can't do this. You'll cause a time paradox.
Don't worry, I can fix it.
I see a captaincy in Diego's future.
2. And he'll run over there, move over there, and he does. You hear movement of someone getting ready over there. You're not sure exactly what he's doing, but you know there's someone over there,
Okay.
other than the guy who's running. This guy will take a shot at you. Blam, miss.
Yep.
And he actually has to reload on his turn. That's nothing to worry about. This guy can't get a proper shot, so he has to close. So he'll close a bit. Blam at you.
Defense is 14. I don't know what his bonuses are.
1, 2, 3. 17. He hits. He just spends the one he got for rapid reload. I had the one stump point. 10 damage.
Okay.
It's gonna move up. Blam. 12.
14. Yeah.
And since he missed, I'm reloading. The other guy shouts something again.
The other guy being this guy or the... Oh, okay.
The adventure cap guy, the dragon hunter.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta check his sheet real quick. Well, not that one. Faster you. You hear his footsteps get very far away. He's running full tilt.
Well, good for him. There's not much I can do about that.
Here you go, Borja.
Okay, that opened away, so... This guy's loaded, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's a dead man. So I'm going to add +2 to my damage against him.
Okay.
I hit him.
You?
You said we have all of our level abilities, right?
Right.
I have to take an activate action. I can mark for death a visible target within 10 yards, which lets me inflict +2 against the one I marked for death. That's the novice assassin. I am, however, unsure I want to waste a minor on an activate in case I don't get an action point to reload, so skip that. I'm just going to shoot him.
Yep. Blam.
Black powder. 18.
Yep. It's
And damage. That's more like it.
thunk. He kind of thunks back a bit, and you see him kind of sink away from the shot. He's still moving.
Minor to reload.
Very good.
Okay, yeah, that's it for me. No stunt points.
More life ebbs away from Cormac McNeil.
Wah, wah.
This
Just
guy
try to...
loads and moves away. guy
I don't
reloads,
even know
moves
what
away.
I don't even know what first aid is under.
This guy will fire at you. Oops, let's try that again. Blam. 13.
One too short.
So he has to load. Can move. Fired. This guy around the corner, seeing that you're down there. Blam.
You got me. Ooh, with lots of stunt points, unfortunately.
So I reload one of them, obviously. A mighty blow for an extra die.
Oh shoot! I'm forgetting about pinpoint attack. I bet my dex was better than that other guy.
Probably. I'll resolve this. We can backtrack that. Disarm. And he'll boost his next attack by 1. So you roll an opposed attack roll, see if he is able to knock the gun away from you.
Just like any attack roll, like my best attack roll, or
The one involving your gun, yes. So your black powder
Okay.
one would come into play here. You hang on to it, you're fine.
okay. Did I get the stunt points from that?
Sadly, no.
No. Finally, roll some damn stunt points.
14 damage.
I don't know. That's not great. Okay. Then I'm going to take a shot at this guy because I can't stop and help McNeil until I can get a breathing room. Blam. 14.
Who are you shooting?
This guy.
Yep, I believe so. Double checking. Sorry. Second. Yes.
Okay. If my dexterity is higher than his, I will be doing a pinpoint attack.
Yes. So, you have
Add a
multiple
D6.
times that would have happened. So, let's do this guy first, and then we'll resolve the other guys you've shot.
Okay. 13 plus another d6. 5. 18.
Blam! You hit him pretty hard. That's his coat catches some of it, but he still takes a significant amount of damage. This guy you've shot at twice, I believe.
Yes.
So give me 2d6 to resolve the other damage is just catching up to. Ow.
10.
Very good.
Okay.
And I believe you're dry.
Minor to reload with my
Oh, minor reload.
Talent.
More life ebbs away from Cormac McNeil. This guy will back off and reload. This guy pops his head out, fires. 16.
14. 16 hits.
He just says flat. 8 damage.
Okay.
This guy will have to come over here. Sees you, fires. 14.
That matches my defense.
15 damage.
Okay. Shit, fuck me. I'm out.
It is very cold. It's very dark. You both awake with a start, and you are both freezing cold, sore, as you wake up once more.
For fuck's sake. Can we load an autosave?
You both are suffering from a new condition. Left you in here for a while. You both have third degree fatigue. So you're -3 to all tests. You move at half normal speed. Cannot run or charge. You lose half your total health while exhausted. You will become unconscious.
Oh, this was a shit show.
I will give Borja some. Actually, Borja, before that extra -3 kicks in, give me another Constitution tolerance. Because you might have. The poison from earlier might have passed through you by now.
We can hope. But probably not the way I've been rolling con lately. Yeah, 18.
Yeah. So you're not suffering from both third level fatigue and the poison. The poison must have processed after a while. Because they bled you free of charge.
Do they? Do I get the stunt points or no?
You do. Not
Okay.
sure what you'll do with it, but yeah, you do.
I don't know what I will do with it either. But go ahead and finish off the description of what our situation is. And
You both awake on the floor. That flowery odor kind of. You take a deep breath, and you are very dazzled and confused. Everything's bright. All the pain where you've been shot hurts. You both have benefited from a long rest, so you do actually revive to your full health.
Okay.
You just have the third degree fatigue condition because you woke up. But yeah, you awake and everything hurts. Wow. Oh wow, that hurts. Oh, you're so cold. Oh, you're so tired. You're so hungry, but you're not dead. Shockingly.
hooray!
Oh god. What do we do?
Well, we try to see if we can open this door.
Can we from the inside?
You're able to, actually. It's ajar. You see the dead body of Valeria Marino.
Ah,
These bastards.
I'm assuming
And
we're
you
soaked.
see, yeah, you're soaked. You notice that she is shot, and you notice that there is a blood-covered cane next to her body.
They beat her with my cane. My cane! I'll take my cane back.
Do we have our stuff, or did they strip us?
You have your stuff, yeah.
Okay.
It's been rifled
Yeah.
through. Any particularly important papers for the purpose of the campaign, it doesn't hurt because you lost some notes of import.
Right.
But nothing that affects the war years from now.
Okay.
I
Take it.
swear to you now, Diego, I will kill every Castramese bastard I find with my own bare hands. This I swear to you.
Even Luciano, because I wouldn't put my money on you in that fight.
I'll have him decommissioned and put to another regiment. I'll flunk him from his school. Castramese bastards.
Oh,
How's your powder? Is it wet?
It is very wet. Your power
it is
ruined.
very wet. It's useless. Well, this is the last time I ever go in a dungeon. It's been in here twice now, and almost gotten killed both times.
Not knowing his future to come.
So,
Have
no,
they-
never going underground again.
Have the Castramese absconded then?
I would assume, and we're in no condition to go crawling again, particularly since my rifle's useless.
Well, let's go see what they found out, I suppose, right? Maybe that's the least we can do.
Go back through all of that mess?
Yeah, well, we're not going out into the cold with these wet clothes.
All right.
And off we go.
Where do you go?
Come, Diego.
when you get to these chambers, you see your own blood frozen to the floor. There's a lot of it. Shockingly, it's actually quite amazing you're not dead. If you were particularly religious, you might think a miracle is involved. Something else has intervened on your behalf, although you don't know what.
The master of the dungeon.
That requires a bit of faith anyway. Different religion entirely. For Game Master, anyway, you heretic. Or Midnight Captain, but that's a different game. Where's my notes? I'm looking everywhere but where I need to look. There we go. I found them. Yes, so in this room, in these chambers, you find that this looks to be a actually better. This looks like there is a stairway leading up. There is water leaking from a font here, but it is draining a little bit. You do see that there were flowers here, but they've since been picked. You see that there is a big, heavy metal door here that is shut.
So they clear the rubble?
When you were here, that door
Oh,
was
no,
closed.
that was there. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this door from your recollections, because you both were fighting for a bit, that door was closed when you were fighting.
Okay.
So it's still closed now. It may have been open and closed since then, but you don't know.
What about down here?
Progress into that area.
Well, I think their chief ran from up this area. If I'm recalling right. You were out by then, I think.
Their chief.
Yeah, there was a guy who was dressed differently than the rest and better, who hightailed it out of here as soon as you went down and I was pinned down.
You see what looks to be there's bits and bobs of wood and camp supplies, and then there's a little bit more that's in here. But
So
it's
this
all
seems like
since
some
been cleared
camping
away.
spot. Camping spot, okay.
Yeah.
Up here?
Up there, you see what looks to be a lot of rubble that has been cleared away. It looks like something was in that rubble, but has since been taken.
Yeah, whatever they were after was there.
Does it look like some sort of vault area? Surely not.
No, it looks like this was somewhere where something was put, and then rubble since had covered it, and then whoever was here uncovered it, and then removed whatever it was.
They didn't find the vault, Diego. At least I don't see any vault here.
Depending on what we meant by vault, the key could have easily opened a chest of some sort.
Quite possible. If you want to go up the stairs, check it out.
Which stairs?
Jan. Here to the north.
Sure, why not?
Schlop, schlop.
The big, heavy metal door does not move to your press. You notice it doesn't have any sort of traditional keyhole.
It has one fit for a comb.
That would be a good estimation, yeah.
What kind of comb is it? Is it one with a like a thin handle, or one with a that's like a uniform all over in size?
Uniform all over. Think like a comb you would put into your hair, like a pick sort of thing, but a little longer, about a little wider than the span of your hand.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
that's what I'm asking. Does it have like a thin handle, like a needle on one end, which you grab it by, or does it have or is it just like a? Perhaps pictures will be better. Hang on.
Could I try and pick this lock?
You can try. You'll get it though. It's fairly high without the proper tool.
Okay, I do have lockpicks, so that will help a little.
Is it like this comb that I posted in chat?
No.
It's
Okay.
like a hair comb thing, right?
Yeah.
But not like to comb the hair, but like something that's used to hold hair in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this? uploading like this.
Like that, but more bigger, more fanciful. But basically,
Right.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so let's give it a shot. See if I can't pick this lock. I doubt it, but you never know. Not with a 13. I'd be shocked. 14 with the lockpick.
No.
Has this been open? Can we see, like, recently has this been open? Like, marks of, like, door scraping on the floor?
Intelligence or perception?
It is better. 19 with 6
There
stun
you go.
points.
Yep. This door has been open and closed.
Ah, curse them. Recently.
Yes.
Curse them to the 7 hells and back. Lady Solara have their balls. Yeah.
Right. On the flip side, however, Diego is going to gather up some. You said there are bits of wood and whatnot here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of draft in this room?
Perception hearing?
Or chimney or anything like that, since they were camping here, maybe? Nope.
Not that you can tell.
Wait.
Okay.
I have 6 stun points. Wait. Would +3 help you out on this roll? No, it wouldn't probably.
No.
Alright.
Well, go ahead and spend those stun points that way. You got
Besides, consider you at -3 to everything you're doing, because you're both very tired.
Right. Okay, so Diego's going to start schlepping wood into this room where I know there's a draft, and start building a fire so we can dry our clothes and warm up before we head out into the waste.
Very good.
Spend an additional 3 stun points on this door for extra information.
Whatever was beyond that door was of imperial importance. This is the sort of thing only the Magi themselves would have been allowed to go into.
Oh, that's a shame. I'll slump against the wall, where there's no water. Like, where are we going, Diego? Here?
Yeah.
That way you have a draft where the smoke can go out.
Yeah, we'll go here and I'll slump against the wall.
You could take another long rest to just kind of sit there and warm up.
Dry out and then head back.
Are there any rats in this place?
Not really, no.
No. Damn it, I thought food.
You drop from 3rd degree to 2nd degree, so you're now at -2 to all tests. Can't run or
Okay.
charge, move at half speed, but you don't immediately drop unconscious if you get half HP.
Okay.
It takes time to recover.
Off to tell, back outside we go then, right?
Yep.
We need to see who we can rouse. Whatever these men stole, it is very important.
I think they're long gone.
They
The
refuse
leader
to-
was out. The leader had already made his escape before I went down, and then I don't know how long we've been out, but it's been a while, enough for that poison to clear my system.
Right. Let's get out, see what the situation is like.
And with that, unfortunately, your efforts turn to investigation, turns into a minor scandal as the comb is lost, and the death of the Lady Marino causes a bit of a problem, but thankfully events were able to mask this disgrace for some years, and it wouldn't catch up to you till long until you're into the Luwian War. As you have a reputation, murder scandal of Mount Iceheart.
Both of us?
Both of you, yep. -2 monarchists. -2 bourgeois. Common folk don't care that much. They don't know who she was, honestly, for the most part. Minus with the Salon, because she was someone that they wanted alive. Oddly. Plus with the Radicals.
Small victories, take them where you can get them, right?
Here we go.
Oh, and the church. Did the church care about this enough? Be mad at you? You're not. See, you're not accused of her murder. Is that you're involved? Like, there's suspicion that you were involved in her murder in some way, but no one ever accuses you. Partly due to your status, but also due to your. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense why you would do it. That sort of thing. If you had the comb, you would be searched for it. They would ask you a lot of questions, but eventually the matter drops once you give to your testimony, and it's enough that the church would let it go. They, especially during this time period, the church. You didn't attack the church down in the farm. You didn't do any sacrilegious stuff or bring anything that they didn't like, so they don't care. Yeah. So yeah. Unfortunately, this is something that lodges. And actually, the thing I'll call back to this for you. And the reason why this is a story that comes to Diego and Cormac while they're in Vitlu, you remember that, thinking back on it, this feels like a lot of effort for a religious artifact or artifacts, especially to do with the Magi. Likewise, you feel that a lot of effort was done in Seabreeze Cove, and it almost feels like the events that happened out in Mount Iceheart and the strangeness that was happening in the cove in that Seashell Cove, Seabreeze Cove rather, are connected. The problem is that because of what happened back then, you don't know. All you know is that Castrum, Peninsula to Castrum folk were there. They likely are the one who murdered one of their fellow countrymen during the day of the Directorate. But what precisely they stole, what they learned, and who actually benefited, you don't yet know. But perhaps you will learn in time. But with that, that will be the end of this particular flashback. We may flashback into further investigation or some other venture that may or may not be underground. Who knows? But we
Never
may
again.
see. Never again.
Staying outside.
Never
Or
again.
we may. I'll just have to fall. I'll have you fall into a pit, Indiana Jones style.
I'm right out.
But yeah, that'll be all. We perhaps will flashback again. We perhaps will catch up on Seabreeze Cove once more and continue that war. It'll depend on who's all here. But for now, all of you are watching, thank you very much for watching. Those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. We'll see you all again next time. Bye. Question is, do you know what saved you? Why you didn't die down there? Because you really should have.
The
fact that
GM, I'm assuming.
The plot would have stopped if we died, I'm assuming, yeah.
Oh, something intervened.
Oh, great heavens above, Saint Solara herself touched us.
What are you talking about? Magic's not a thing.
Of course, of course.